What's up with you? Late night, what's up? What's up with you? Late night. Got another guy, man. Sherrone Moore. Brother took over. He took over after Jim Harbaugh. Matter of fact, that's what I understand. What's up, man? From what I understand, he took the brunt of the suspension last year. Um, he took a brunt a lot. I think Jim got out of there. Jim went to the pros. But he took it over, man. He was the head coach. University of Michigan, man, brother. He took over last year for 3 games. They won all 3 of the games. Harbaugh came back, coached the playoffs, and won the championship. And Harbaugh went off to San Diego. They left him in charge. He came back this year. He had a new quarterback, star recruit. I don't know about that quarter. Okay. That's their problem. They don't score no points, man. They ain't score no points. So what happened was some type of scandal with a staff member. And he's since lost his position, his job. And he's been locked up too. Something about there's a rumor there was some type of threat. Let me go over, let me see. There was some type of threat to this person. Right now, they're not putting out what happened. There's just rumors on why the arrest. Possibly was it his wife? Oh yeah, we're waiting on that to come out. Was it a says Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Constitutes a clear violation of the policy. So much for his contract. Apparently, and it probably did. Uh, probably did. He lost his job. Probably. Uh, Things got a little bit out of hand, and it says rumors that the woman's pregnant. Um, and all of that because future coaching, etc. He had a buy out about 14 million. Yeah, they don't have to pay. They don't have to pay it. His contract had a very low buyout. He beat Ohio State, so they let him keep the job. They went 9-2. They had a bowl game, and they play in Texas. So much for that. So he won't be coaching. So that's gonna mess that whole matchup up because you'll never know, But we saw the same thing with Eric Adams. Eric Adams out of New York. Scandal. Women. So these brothers are getting these positions, man. These black men are getting these prominent positions, but Shannon Sharp, but they can't control themselves or whatever around these women. And it's costing them a lot, costing them opportunities. And there's always somebody out there that says, the white man does it. Well, it don't look like he gonna let you do it. Look like he may sleep with. They saying Lane Kiffin sleeping with half the Ole Miss. I don't blame him though. Have you been over there? You been to Ole Miss? You been to Old Mississippi? There's some baddies out there, bro. But Lane Kiffin, see, that's the thing. Lane Kiffin, and we don't know if this is true or not. So I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know anything about Lane Kiffin, what he does at that university. But if it's true, clearly they're not going to let you get away with it. That's the hypocrisy of a lot of black guys. They keep thinking the rules are like it's okay. Well, this coach did it. This coach did. The guy from Michigan, Rich Rodriguez, all these coaches. There was some guy in the SEC. He had to quit. Guy from Louisville, he had to quit. All of them were messing with students. Now, this was a staff member that could still be a student, but all of them had got relationships and it got public. It got out, and they don't tolerate that. They have to keep a separation from the teachers and the student, and they emphasize that it's in the contract. Can't sleep with these students, man. We need you to, hands off. It opens up so many opportunities for sexual, just so much from a legal standpoint from the school. It just opens up a Pandora's box. They can wash out of school, say, it was because of you. It's just so many things that a university has to protect itself from. And yeah, he was fired. And obviously, we're going to get more details. Allegedly, there was some type of incident, perhaps with the wife. We saw that with Tiger Woods' wife. She beat the brakes off of him when she caught him cheating. She beat him with a golf club. This was the police involved, so we don't know. He's still in custody too, so he's still being held. So we'll probably find out. Did he go after the ex? That's the rumor that he went after the chick on the staff. She got a nice suit coming, so she just needs to contact her lawyer. Can't do that. If I'm the coach of the University of Michigan, can't sleep with the women. Also, another thing you gotta be careful of is that you're married. You married, man. That makes it worse because you risking all of that for what, man? You risking everything, your reputation. You risking potential money. You're risking all of these things for what? What do you get? You get some student some random student that works that's at the university that you're at, and and you got responsibility, you got kids, you got a wife, you've already made a prior commitment. Are you really just going to jump out there? Are you really just going to jump out there and say, hey, um, she can do anything she wants. I don't care. Well, and this is what it all. This is why it's prohibited, because of stuff like this. What happens is when you get emotional, you're a married man and you're smashing some of the students. A lot of you get it now. You got to deal with the police because emotions have been people get upset, and remember the students. You got to have a student has to have a safe environment. They have to have a safe environment. How are they going to learn? So they're gonna be out some money. They're gonna be out. They get their tuition back. They're gonna be out some money. They're gonna have to settle they got insurance. But they got to settle. So they said we make this stuff off limits. Was another brother. We saw this with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp messed his money up over a woman. Shannon Sharp did it. Here we go, right here. Shannon Sharp jumped out there, messed his bag up. Say he's about to sign $100 million deal. Or with ESPN, he went out there and met some chick. He claimed in the gym. I don't believe any of that. He went in, met some chick online. Thought he was slick. He thought he was slick, and she was slicker than him. So he lost everything. Oh, Platt, you think black men the only one? Nope. They're not getting away with it though. Well, they ain't getting away with it. And on top of that, he had messed his marriage up. If there's a kid in the marriage, man, look at that. You got to deal with a divorce. You got to deal with all of this transition, man. Well, now he's not, all this money in football, he's not going to be able to get another job. He's got to sit down for at least 3-4 years. Because they're going to say, now, do I believe this is true? I don't. They're going to say they don't trust him around the students. So even though you say, hey, I can help this university win, I made a mistake, I got fired, but I can really come here. I can come to Louisville. I can come to Kansas. I can go to this small school, smaller than the school I was coaching at, and I can help this team win. Well, they're going to say, we can't trust you around the students. And they're going to reference the situation at Michigan. Now, he can go to he can go to Ball State, Kent State. He can go to one of them universities. Even I said about 2 years. They don't pay nothing down there. What he got with Michigan, his buyout was $14 million. What he'll get from those universities, he don't get no money from them. Because that's another thing too. His money gonna be messed up. They're gonna say, hey, you look at a bad school. You look at Akron Zips. They're gonna tender him an offer that's consistent to what the school has been paying a bad coach. He'll get a bad coach deal. Same thing with Lane Kiffin. Lane had to work it. Lane had to work his way all the way up to Ole Miss. Lane went to FIU. Before that, I think he coached at another school that was small. He went to FIU. But this is the thing, Lane won. Lane took a university like FIU. Lane was like 9-3 with them. Lane was winning all them games down there. He went down there, took his staff down there, and took that team from like 1-8, 1-9, and they was like 9-2, 9-3. And Lane went and took the Ole Miss job. And look at him now. He got the LSU job. See, the game, and it's more money. He got a bigger contract. They paid for all of that. And now he finna get some money. Because see, when you start talking about those schools, those LSUs, he been to Tennessee, but Alabama, which he'll probably wind up at, when you start talking about those schools, they're gonna pay you. They're gonna pay you. And as a man, you have to control yourself. There's beautiful women everywhere. There's beautiful women everywhere. That you can't get into that because it's too much to risk. It's too many millions and millions of dollars, and it's too many eyeballs. When you look at sleeping with the women at the university you work for, you live in a fishbowl. You literally live in a fishbowl everywhere you go. When you become the coach of that school, when you become the coach of the school, everywhere you go, you're like a celebrity. Everywhere you go, people are gonna thank you. They're gonna want to talk to you about the game, about the past, about the future. You're a representative of that university, so there's nothing you can really do, and you got to play the game. You got to play the game. You got the Kellogg's, you got your Tide, you got your Cadillac, you got your Lexus. We finna come across all of this Lexus stuff. Every kiss begins with K, all of this. So we finna be just swamped with this stuff all through Christmas, right? Traditional family values, that's what you have to push. Traditional families' values. Now, this is the thing. They're not gonna pay you if you don't want to participate. You won't get the money you won't get that big money. We got the bowl, damn near $1 billion finna go into action off of these schools within the next 2 weeks. Oh, they'll probably make more than that, make billions of dollars within the next 3 weeks of college football. It's a lot of money, a lot of coaches. Dion got a $53 million deal. He re-upped after 2 years. He re-signed. It's millions and millions. Arch Manning made $9 million. If he comes back, he'll make 12, 13. It's millions and millions and millions of dollars. They have to pay you. a team like a school like University of Michigan, you retire from football from that school. You coach there 5, 6 years. You coach there a good 6 years. You get in them playoffs, man. You get you a championship. You taken care of for life. You look at the guy from Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman. He turned down Penn State. He's at Notre Dame. They didn't make the playoffs. He should have played the bowl game, but they didn't make the playoffs. That's why he blew out. That's why he's blowing them teams out 70-3. But I don't know what he makes. I can go look up his salary. I don't know what Marcus Freeman made, but his name came up. But Penn State paying this man $45 million. Penn State's gonna have to break off. If he would have took the Penn State job, they got to pay him, man. They got to pay him. The guy from Indiana who beat Ohio State, Shinetti or something like that, Shigetti. The guy who took Indiana undefeated, man, Indiana. He took Indiana to including beating Ohio State at the shoe. What the hell was that at Ohio State? And that quarterback, you talk about an arch man, that quarterback he is now, he might win the Heisman. He is this year, well, no fanfare about that guy. Nobody making no big deal about the guy in Michigan. You want me to go look and see how much he made? That guy went 13 and let me see how much he got on NIL. I gotta see. Quarterback, how much NIL money went to the Indiana quarterback? Quarterback, okay. Let's go see. Arch Manning got $9 million. Fernando Mendoza got $2.6 million. He just did get some money. They say he just signed something with Adidas. This man went undefeated. Let me see what he made. Did he play here last year? Fernando Menzola. Because it's going to make my point. Because if Fernando decided to run into the females' dorms, this opportunity that he has, he would lose. Let's see what he got last year. Hold up. Okay, I'm not trying to see 2024. Right. Let me see. What is it? What is Fernando? Okay, he was at Cal. Ain't that something? He was a sophomore at Cal. Yeah, redshirt junior. Okay, but I want to see what he made. I want to see what he got at Cal. At Cal. Okay, let's see what they say. It said he had a ON3 NIL validation, though he was not a high NIL earner. So he didn't make, nothing. Now he's a Heisman candidate. So he made $2.6 million. Arch Manning got $9 million and has done nothing. And this man's he didn't get anything in 2023. Nothing. He had 2 or 3 endorsement deals. He probably got a hat and some basketball pants or something. Like he didn't make no money, not like he's making now. And he ain't making no money now. He made $2.6 million for the whole year, and he's undefeated. And a Heisman will probably win the Heisman. Team's undefeated. And see, that's when we get down to the coaching. See, this is what guys don't understand, right? About this stuff, right? This stuff. That's what you got to understand about coaching, right? If you're a good coach, man, I don't care who you coach. You can come out here and coach some high school. You can put a team together that can beat a better team. You can do David versus Goliath in football. You can do it in basketball. It's the coach. It's the coach. It's the way he sees the game. He sees what you're doing. He shuts it down. He puts a defense out there. He sees you got a weak out old line. He blitzes you. He sees the weaknesses in your quarterback, the weaknesses in your team. If he sees a quarterback who can really throw well, he'll just blitz him. He won't get any time. You can't do it if you can't got time. He sees a quarterback that runs, makes him throw. Quarterback that throws, make him run. That's what you do. That's a call a coach. You coach your team. And that's what you see with this guy. You didn't see that in James Franklin. James Franklin was a failure. It was just he got overpaid to begin with. Right? He did the same thing that this guy. You beat the teams and then you lose You never beat a team you're supposed to lose to. You never do that. And that's if you're a university, you can't have a coach just sit there, okay, win the games you're supposed to win, lose the games you're supposed. That ain't a coach. You got to get rid of him. You got to go find another coach. Now they keep talking about this guy, Sherrone Moore. They keep saying that because he didn't beat Michigan. Well, he beat them last year. They didn't have no choice but to fire him because he broke the fraternization policy. Man, that's a big deal, man. People keep playing and stuff like that. Ain't no big deal. That's a big deal, man. That's millions and millions. You can't be out here flirt. You can't do it. Now, you know what you do? You quit. You know what you do? You say, oh, I'm in love. Then you tender your resignation. You tell the university you appreciate it, but you can't, in good conscience, fulfill your job. Once you are detached, no longer a part of that university, you're right. Two grown people, you can do what you want to do. Get married, do whatever you want, but you cannot do that. And you work for the university. You can't do it. What about the white coaches who do it? Well, when they catch them, they get fired. But now you can't do it. See, this is the problem with that we keep running to when it comes to the Negro. What does the Negro want? Does he just want to be able to break the rules because the white man breaks the rules? What does the Negro want? Does he want to be a head coach of a football team? Well, you got to win games. They'll deal with you, right? When you look at Colorado, well, they are making money because Deion brings TV money and opportunities they wouldn't normally have. So, yeah, they made money off Deion. And now this new contract is more of an even split. But they had a bad year last year. Yeah, he's under contract, but he's got to win, or they'll get rid of him like they did the guy before him. But like I said, so opportunity, right? You got the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, black man. What does he do? Scandal. What does he do? I'm saying he gets the job. What does he do? What does he do? He gets the job. What did he do? He got thirsty, and what happened? He lost his. Now he's gone. Now he's gone. You can't. We get into this all the both ways thing. You can't have it both ways, man. When you say a coach, that man, if you're a black coach, you know they already gonna be watching you, man. Why would you do something like that? And if you married, I mean, is it that necessary that you need to be smashing the students? No, I'm very serious. I'm serious. Man, if you like 19 or 20 or 21, I can see a person like that thinking like that. But if you 40 something, 50, damn near 45, you got responsibility, you got homes, you got investments, you got a contract. You have to fucking deal with the faculty as well as the students, right? You don't let nobody slick. You don't let none of them women gas you up, and then you sleep with them, and then you lose your opportunity, lose millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars because you want to sleep with somebody. That's just being weak, man. That's being weak. You guys keep trying to act like it's not. The stuff Shannon Sharp, he can say whatever he wants. That's weak. They just did a report on Deion's old lady. They was bragging on what's her name? The Chris Brown's something. What is that woman's name? They just did a report on her and how she met him and all of that. I said, man, that woman is probably the same thing Sherrone Moore was doing. But look at Deion. And like I said, I'm gonna say this again: Deion keeps his business on the low. When you look at Michael Irvin, they're buddies. You think they weren't doing the same thing, but Deion keeps his stuff low. He keeps it low. He keeps it out of sight. You shouldn't be doing it at all. But these guys, you can't get these good jobs, man, and scream race and injustice and stuff. And I know guys are gonna do that. Not if you're doing wrong, man. And this is going to justify the racism in the league. They're going to say we don't want these Negroes coming to coach our sons and daughters because these Negroes is thirsty. And that's the racial shell game. Got late night lunch, man. That's the racial shell game that they play on the Negro. And somebody was making a big deal about the white women. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Shannon Sharp cost them $20 million. Just cost University of Michigan coach his job, and he's locked up. We're gonna get into that. It's a lot of rumor about that though. About he either went after the girl, they got in an argument, the police got involved. Because they say right after he was fired, he was taken into custody, screaming match or something like that. That's why you don't mess with him. See, that's why. See, this is the thing, right? You can mess with them, but there's a time and a place for everything. You don't mess with the students at the University of Michigan when you're the head coach of the football team. It's too much to lose. It's too much to lose. It's just too much to lose, man. And it's a big world out here, man. And you're a married man, so you doing so much that you know you shouldn't do, and then this is $1 million, millions and millions of dollars. These people are not going to play with you, man. If somebody sees that, that's all they got to do. If they see it and go and complain, it could be a disgruntled student. And he ain't the only guy. They done fired teachers and stuff. He's not the only guy who did that. They don't play with that because they get sued. Now they're gonna have to deal with this student. Says she's pregnant. She's gonna get a nice suit. In addition to the money they saved on him, they're gonna probably have to give up $30-40 million. Because when she came to the school, someone in a position of power, the coach, took advantage of her. And that's the way that's the way the lawyer is gonna put it out there. They're gonna put out there as a grown woman. They're not gonna say that, oh, she's a grown adult woman making grown adult decisions. It was all consensual. So other than that, she ain't, that don't matter. That don't matter. And he got his ass fired. And then when you start talking about the Negro and this job, the head coaching job, or the Negro racism, they won't get these Negro. Well, hey man, they getting run up out of there just like the white coaches. What's the difference? My thing is when you look at Indiana, right? That guy can coach. See, that's a. Let me say this: you guys think Indiana got a good football team? In Indiana their team ain't no different than Ole Miss. It ain't no different than University of Tennessee. They got some good recruits. They got some guys that didn't come through. They got some guys who played above what they expected them to play. But don't tell me Indiana is some type of Chicago Bears. Indiana is a football team. And then damn, they lost to Penn State. You could say they should have lost to Penn State. Indiana, that's called coaching. That's a guy who takes time out, prepares his team. He knows his talent. When he plays these other teams, he knows how to attack them. He sees their weaknesses. He goes after their weaknesses. If that quarterback likes to go left, he ain't gonna let him go left. He's just not gonna let. He gonna keep stacking that. That's called coaching. That's what I'm saying. You sit around here, you look at it, James Franklin, and then you look at this guy. And we can't beat Ohio State. We can't beat Ohio State. We some black men. We can't beat Ohio State. Y'all need to just let us have these $10-14 million a year job. Man, them people ain't learn how to beat Ohio State. This guy did. What is his name? Sinetti or something? This guy, he just beat him. He beat him. He undefeated. He went 13-0, and they finna go into the playoffs now. He just got a big, huge contract. His quarterback is a transfer. His quarterback is a transfer from Cal. That's called coaching, man. That's called looking. You looking around. You see who's available. You see you see guys who are not good on this team. You recruit this guy. You sit down and say, oh, perfect. They did the same thing. But now this is the old Pat, not the Eric Bieniemy Pat Mahomes. That Eric Bieniemy Pat Mahomes. Eric Bieniemy was the one who found him. He said, I can do something with him. Hey, man, Texas Tech, Texas Tech was like 6-5, 7-4. They were no special team when Pat was there. I remember when Pat was there. There was a couple of games I saw. I didn't keep up with the whole year. He played somebody. He played a good team, and he played okay. I don't even think they won the game. But the next thing I know, I saw him being drafted. He was just in the draft. The guy brings him up, Kansas City. Kansas City draft up 10 places to get him. They bring him in, and for the next, 3, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, they've been in a championship game. He set out 1 year, got in, came back the next year, and he turned it over. That man was winning. That man was winning. I remember that year. He was winning them games. And then now he's, that's why you change your coach. See, you look at your personnel and you said we gotta get a new coach in here. We good with the team, but this guy, and they might be right about Andy. I think Andy messed up. He said he wanted to stay. I don't know where Eric Bieniemy is. Eric Bieniemy tried to coach in college. I don't know where he is, but he was promised a job at Kansas City, and they stabbed him in the back. And Pat was right with him. Pat stabbed him in the back too. So he couldn't get a head coaching job nowhere. So he's somewhere out here. But that's what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now you look at this guy from Michigan. He's out, got himself in trouble. Now he's locked up. That's another thing too. You get caught, you got caught, man. Ain't the end of the world, man. Guess what? You're a human being, bro. Who said you was going to never make a mistake? When you look at a guy like a Nick Saban, see, what we don't want to deal with, a lot of people, the Shannon Sharp, they don't want to deal with reality. That's the way it is, man. If you're going to get in these positions, they want traditional people. When you look at a Stephen A. Smith, they want a traditional man. They want a traditional man. Oh, that's another thing. Stephen A. ain't married, right? Stephen A. single, right? Yeah, you talking about running for president. He'll have a hard time with being single, running for president. And then you sort of like a dusty dude. You could probably get away. You could run for president and be single if the women fucking with you like that. That's the first time I dropped a profanity this whole stream. If the women messing with you like that, yeah, you can run for president. But you can't run for president, you single, and the women don't mess with you like that. They won't vote for you. They're not gonna vote. Now, I'm not gonna say they're gonna call you gay. I'm gonna say that they're just not gonna vote for you, man. What's up with you, bro? Yeah. Yeah, you're saying generational wealth, opportunity. This ain't how you get it, man. This is this is the lesson to be taught, right? When you do get to these opportunities, right, you get this money, you got this power. The society we live in requires you to behave a certain kind of way. Now, for the Negro, the problem with the Negro is the hip hop community, or more or less, or how the black community sees things. You can't behave like they behave. That's that's entertainment. That's hip hop. They're not mainstream. They're just not mainstream America. When you look at, and then look at the money. It ain't like they losing money. Look at the money they make. You think who owns Zeus Channel? Name one person on Zeus Channel who makes 15, $16 million a year. That's how much you get paid to coach University of Michigan. Shit, University of Michigan. I mean, like 8 to 9 million a year. 8 to 9 million a year. Plus, you got a scout team. You recruit. You fly all over the place. You got expense account. You somebody. You the coach of Michigan. Michigan is somebody. Notre Dame is somebody. Those certain jobs, just the job itself. Like they say, the president. Where you president? Just having particular jobs mean something, right? Marcus Freeman, first thing his name popped up with that Penn. Penn State got deep pockets. I don't know what he making at Notre Dame, but Penn State was ready to pay him. That's a black man. He married to a white woman, but he don't mess with the students. He don't mess with the students, and he wins. And you got to understand, Notre Dame, they don't really have University of Notre Dame doesn't really have talent like that. I think that I'd have to go and look at exceptions they had because Notre Dame is not an easy university to attend. But they got some exemptions, I think, somewhere where you can be an idiot and play for Notre Dame. It ain't a whole lot of them, though. It ain't a whole lot. So that's what one of the biggest comments with Notre Dame. They're saying it's hard to the standard academic standard is so high, it's hard to recruit. And they were like this. I mean, that's nothing new. I'd say under Freeman, under Freeman, they've been as good as they can get. Even though they got blown out against Ohio State, but they've been playing well. A lot of that is him. A lot of that is the coach. And no matter what Sherrone Moore says, right? And we know he cried on the football field. They won a game. He cried. Um, Harbaugh can't save him. Can Harbaugh hire him? It depends on San Diego. Depends on the people out there. It depends. It's all up to them. Can he hire him? Who knows? I don't know. He can't hire him this year though. Maybe next year. He can't hire him this year. But this is the lack of discipline, commitment, all of these things, right? What do you expect, man? No discipline, no commitment, uh, juvenile, immature. And when you talk about millions of dollars, who has time for someone who's that juvenile? When it's clear, grown men know grown men. Of course, we like women, but you can't sleep with the ones who go to this university. Why does somebody have to keep going over that with you? Don't understand that, but you don't understand what you don't understand. You can't sleep with them. A, B. You got a problem. You got a problem. And this is the thing about that, right? This is the sad thing about that. Um, is it's a weak what it establishes how weak that man is. It does, man. That's weakness. That's weakness, man. You the coach of a major school like that. We're not talking about you got a guy you got guys out there. Matter of fact, the guy from Virginia, he's black. They did pretty good. He lost to Duke, so I don't mean, but he's a black man. University of Virginia. You know how many people want that University of Michigan job? Man, that, like I said, you could all you got to do is get all. If you coach University of Michigan, all you got to do. That ain't all you got to do. You look at James Franklin. James Franklin, he wasn't doing nothing there. He didn't do nothing. They kept losing to Michigan and Ohio State. Yeah, they got the humongous contract. And now somebody was talking about his name for somebody. They was bought up some school. They bought his name up. Was it LSU? I was like, what? Something like that. Maybe James can go to Ole Miss, son. That'd be perfect for him, huh? He better win. But this is symbolic, man. These Negroes, they get these opportunities. What do they do? They go out there and they squander them. Man, you gotta be for real. Also, women, we gotta hit that point as a man, and you want to be a ladies' man. Well, what do you think that is? That's women love this man. Women women in general want to be around this man. You can't. It's gonna be hard to be a player, and women don't fuck with you like that. You're gonna keep getting in trouble. You just gonna keep. It just ain't gonna come out the way you want it to come out, man. You said don't put Udoka. Well, Udoka was not married, and she was like part of management, but he wasn't a married man. So I disagree with. Well, he was wrong to mess with staff. I mean, the people he worked with. So obviously, and see this thing like Eric Adams found out. Eric Adams found out, and this is what the Negro. This is something I've seen all my life. You'll see some Negro running for office, and he'll get in there and talk about he's done with corruption, and he's gonna make things so much better for you wherever you are. And then the Negro gets in office, and he wind up doing the same thing the white dude was doing, and nothing changes. And then eventually he gets found out or something. He gets pulled out or kicked out of office or something. And I said, man, them Negroes, I thought they was gonna change. They ain't changed nothing, man. He ain't changed nothing. Shannon Sharp still. That's Shannon. You cool? You good people, man. Man, Shannon, what are you? What do you eat, man? That dude's so buffed up. Saw that dude the other day, man. Man, neck. That man's so buffed. Yeah, like man, this dude, bro. This, but you know who Shannon reminds me of. You know that dude that be dancing. That big brother. That's on Twitter. I think he on TikTok too. He before he eat the food, he big old swole dude. And he doing it for the clicks and the money, getting paid over there too. So I can't, I don't like him doing it because it has racial connotations. But I can't. He got to pay his bills, man, and people want to see that foolishness. So I ain't gonna pay his bills. But now you got the latest body, Sherrone Moore, named Michigan head coach last year, coach with Harbaugh through the championship, coached 3 games, won all 3. Obviously, he was recommended. He gets the head coaching job, and he gets caught with a member of the staff, which could be a student, and something happened. it spilt over where the police had to be called. He has been currently held in custody. And there's all types of rumors abounding, allegedly, that he had confronted the woman and accused the woman of telling their secret. The woman's pregnant. And then there's the wife aspect of it, that she got caught off grounds. And he's in jail. Ain't that something, man? That's how quick it can happen, man. Says Shannon is taking that stuff he was endorsing. Nah, man, I don't know. I don't know what Shannon on, man. But he can be, he ain't under the NFL no more. He could be on whatever he wants to. He's into that stuff too. So ain't no telling, man. He looked like he on the juice. He looks like it. I don't know if he is though. And then you had the brother from Michigan State. I think that's now we getting into COVID. This brother had a good job. He's going to be the highest paid black coach. And he met this woman and they had something and he started to sex, what they call that, text, sexing and something. He started talking to her and I think he said she agreed. They did it one time, she agreed, and then the second time she got him on the phone. Something about it. Anyhow, she didn't know he was doing it. Something about it. She went out. She suing the university. I don't know how much money she gonna get. She's suing the University of Michigan State for him. Says he was sexually harassing her, and he said it was consensual. They didn't agree. They fired him. And they just recently fired the coach that took over after him, but they didn't agree. They didn't agree with him. They agreed with her, and I think they're still trying to settle the lawsuit she's filing or whatever. That's what she said, man. You can go look the case up yourself. Said he drug up old memories that she had forgotten about. Said that she didn't know that he was masturbating on the phone call, and she found out, and it traumatized her, and they had to fire him. He said it was consensual. They didn't agree, and they got to pay him. Oh, so she got an okay. So, yeah, no, that's not this case. The case with Michigan State, they was I think he was married too. So, man, dudes need to get them a woman, man. You guys, all these guys who are successful and stuff, you guys got to take a moment, man. Shut it down. Learn some game. You need to get you a woman, man. You and see, most men as they travel to success, they understand the importance of having a quality relationship. It might not be marriage, but you got someone who meets a lot of the necessary things so that you can be a successful man. What would be the point of being a successful man is if all your women tear everything you build? This is what this is right here. Sherrone, a woman tore down his castle. He had a castle. He had made it, man. He made it. He came from Louisville. He was just an offensive line coach. Harbaugh, he got in good with Harbaugh. They won a championship, I think 2 championships. Harbaugh put a word in. That man is head coach of the University of Michigan Wolverines. Messed around here, slept with some woman on the staff. Yeah, that doesn't hit the paper. That is front. That's headline news. And now he's out. Now he's locked up. And he'll be out. But now they sent him. He went to jail. He got fired and then proceeded to got in custody. Over what? A woman. Now, when you say someone like a NBA young boy, well, he's a drug addict. I mean, what do you expect from him? He's not going to do it. He's going to make a lot of kids. He's going to use drugs until they find him somewhere. And What do you expect from him? But see, the University of Michigan, they didn't hire NBA young boy. They hired a guy who was recommended. And they went with him. And you got to understand, everybody got bid. That's a school, man. They got to look over the faculty. They got to keep up with everything. That's a school. They got to keep up with everything. They got a basketball program. They got a hockey program. They got a volleyball program. Sports. They got to take care of all of that. They don't have no time to be watching no grown ass man. Hey man, you can't mess with the students. You out here messing with the students. You're gonna get fired. Well, they wanted to do it. Well, they're gonna get you fired. They're gonna get you fired. All that's gonna happen is you gonna get fired. This guy said they sending snow bunnies to get them up out of here. Well, it's working. And both of the men, with the exception of Shannon, both of those men were married to snow bunnies. So they were black men at good school. Michigan State's a good school. Let me tell you something about those universities. Man, that's like Notre Dame. They can pay you. They're gonna see what they're gonna see what the payment is, whatever the current payment is, and that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get. The guy from Indiana, he just signed the deal, but it's based off of 2025. They extended his deal. He did exceptional well for Indiana, and he exceptionally well, and he did it with that quarterback. I mean, I hope he win the Heisman. I hope he wins the Heisman. But yeah, you can't listen. I'm gonna say this again. Just like at a church. I don't know if you guys understand what a church. You can pastor. You can be a pastor, and then you can say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go down here. My uncle is up in age. I'm gonna go and be assistant pastor with him. And take as he transcends, help them transition. And you go down there, and then next thing you know, you've been there for 2 years, off and on. You do Wednesday night, but he's got a nice little 7,000 member congregation, and you do Sunday every blue moon. He gets sick or something, but for the most part, you just do Wednesday nights that people know you, and you got opportunity to take over this church, and then you go look at the finances and say, me, my wife, my 3 kids, I can do everything I dreamed of doing. All I gotta do, and I love to preach the word. And this reverend is with his blessing, and he's passing away, and or you can do that, right? You can sit there and say, yeah, I'm gonna be taking over Mount Baptist. I'm gonna be the new pastor, and I'll probably be preaching here till I pass away, just like him. Just like him. He got nice things. It's not saying you're doing it for that. He got a nice car. He got a nice house. Uh, you, your wife, your kids can enjoy the finer things. But, but you like a couple of women in the congregation, and you can say, "Well, man, that's birds and beads, and that's what people do." And I wouldn't even disagree with that. I would agree. That's the birds and the bees, man. That's nature calling. But you gonna mess your money up, and then what? Because none of these Negroes gonna fill in the blanks. You gonna mess your money up. That's why. See, God's got to understand. If you want to be that type of dude, you gonna have to be a nigga. You gonna have to be in the streets. Cause see, they'll make you that. You can't do both. You can't be in these. You cannot be in these good positions these seats of power. And see, that's what the biggest problem is with a lot of Negroes. They want to be in these seats of power, but they don't want to be responsible. That's the thing about Obama. Obama, and you can criticize him. He was a Democrat or whatever, a liberal. Criticize Obama. He ain't do nothing for black folks. Okay. Black Obama didn't do nothing for black folks. Well, you got to be able to do that. And you got to also be able to get elected. But see, the Negro thinks, and it does, consistent is how the Negro thinks he can have his cake and eat it too. The Negro thinks that he'll get a position of power, yet he'll focus only on Negroes. That's never going to happen. And well, that's never. That's something right out of the white supremacy pushed that out there. If they don't want Negroes to get hired, they strap Negroes like they strap them with foolishness, and then look at them. And he said somebody was sending them white girls at them. Well, they jumped on them. They jumped on them white girls. And white girls getting paid too, bro. Believe that. Shannon Sharp had to pay. This white woman at University of Michigan, she finna get a lawsuit going. The Michigan State, she got a lawsuit. Eric Adams, they got lawsuits against him. Yeah, that ain't how you do it, man. That ain't how you do it. And at some point, as a man, you got to just accept that you just a man. You can't fly, man. And this is going to affect the hiring of other black coaches. They're going to be less inclined to hire a black coach because of the behaviors of these coaches, of these individuals. He said Tyrone gets a pass, but he don't get into B certain rooms. He said keep talking about someone was sent. There's a belief that someone was sent, Gemini. You can say whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, Gemini, he's fired. He's fired. And I want to see him tell that story. I want him to tell the story that somebody was sent. They sent the woman to him. Bro, let's look, man. At the end of the day, the man is fired. Oh, well, he didn't beat Michigan. They would have fired him. You cannot deal with them students, man. Man, this is nothing new. All of these coaches, whether it's a basketball coach, whether it's a football coach, whether it's a baseball coach, softball coach, you cannot have a relationship with the women in the contract. If you want to date college girls and you work at a college, there are other colleges. So you work at the University of Tennessee. The women at Tennessee are off limit, right? But you can date the women at Michigan. You could date the women at Ohio State. That's up to you. That's between you and them. They say because you have influence. That's what they're saying. And they don't, and it's a bad look for them. And it's a bad look. And YouTube, let me say this. Guys think YouTube ain't gonna change the law, man. Man, them man, I don't even look at the Michigan guy as a black anything. I look at I look at that Michigan case right here as a dude that, he was sloppy, man. He was stupid. He was stupid. Sometimes you do have to draw a line in the sand. You have to draw a line in the sand and say, man, I'm not going to lose my money over these women. If you're a married man, you got to value your relationship, especially you talking about the amount of money, man, and the way you can create for your kids. So yeah, guess what? Guess what? You missed out. Guess what? If I coach for the University of Michigan, right? I'm going, is my third year. Okay, there's someone on the staff who flirts. There's someone on the staff who is around me, and I got to make a decision, man. I got to make a decision. Is it more important to maintain my job, or can I go ahead and have a side piece that's a student that works on the staff, and I'm a married man? A lot of times you just say, no, man, I'm gonna have to miss out. Yeah, just simple as that. Say, you're right. And that's what the guy said when he took over the church. Was asking him about it. He said, yeah, man. He said, women tell me everything. He said, me and my staff, he said, I'm the main pastor. But he said, yeah, they can come in and tell me anything. He said, I help a lot of single women. And, obviously you're going to say, well, you hitting it, ain't it? And he said, well, no, man, if I did that, I wouldn't be really pastoring them. And then he broke it down. He said, man, I'm a pastor, man. My life, my mission is different than yours. It's different than other people. It's not going to work with me because I truly believe this. I get what you're saying. The average man probably would cave in and sleep with him. He said, but I'm not going to sleep with him because I believe in what I preach and I practice it. And he said, yeah. And he said, also he's trying to help the people. He expect them to be weak. He said, women flirting with him, women wanting to sleep with him in the church, he expects that because they're weak. He's trying to help them. He's trying to help them, and he going to show them the right way. He going to make sure they straight. That's what he is. He's their pastor. So when you look at a head coach, right, it's going to take some discipline, man. Ain't nothing you can say, Sherrone. Look at you. Now look at Jim. Jim is with the Chargers getting his money, man. Jim got a humongous contract. San Diego. You don't see none of this stuff following him. You don't see it. Not now. Should you do it? No. But do other people do it? Yeah. But they know, look, man, you got to know what you're doing, man. These Negroes get these jobs and think they could just sleep with these women and it don't matter. And they find out it matters. Now he's locked up, no telling what happened. Obviously, they think he did something wrong. That's why he's locked up. So that's another thing. You can't go back and yell at the women. That's what man, you can't. You can't. And you got to, when you supposedly a lady man, the women gotta fuck with you. The females got to be down with you. Like I was saying, you start talking about the female dorm, when you good with them, guess what? Any of them can walk you up. Because you right up there with them walking around. You go, going to the bathroom, cleaning up. They laughing at you, joking with you. They have no problem with you. Whether you are creating a problem or not, the women have no problem with you. But when this dude's a head coach for the University of Michigan, it got out, man. You can't let that stuff get out. It got out. They fired your ass. Running back to the woman yelling, what is that going to do? Now you locked up. But when you think all you gotta do is turn them pages back, don't sleep with the women, man. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to worry about it. Same thing with this guy from Michigan State, and they brought up the, Udoka, that guy. Yeah, you gotta you're disciplined, right? When you don't have discipline, this is what you get. We said the same thing years ago with the Good Morning America, the 2 people who got fired, uh, the brother, they were cheating on each other, and the brother got fired. Yeah, you got to slow that down, man. You gotta slow it down. Bethune says they asked Jameis Winston, um, "You got any problems? You like women too much?" "Well, you won't be in the NFL if you do." Now, Jameis is married, and that's what a lot of time, man, when you have an insane or a very high attraction to women, you gotta find you a good one, man, and you gotta sorta lock her in, man, because you just can't be out there like that, just all over the place, unless the women mess with you. You just can't be all up, down, all over the place. And there's always gonna be attractive women, man, that hey, that may want you, may not want you, but they're attractive women. And you have to it's just when I'm talking about positions of power, man, what are you gonna do? You gotta just accept it. And you guys have done it, and I've done it. You guys have worked around beautiful women, and guys keep talking to you about them, and then you find out, well, really, I'm not gonna do any of the things he keeps saying, but, he sure is interested in her, you know? Guys always say that, man. But you can't be a fool, though. If she wants to date you, she'll date you, like she dates the other men she dates. If you made a move, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't if I had his job, "Oh, man, you don't know that, this you." I do know that. I do know if I had his job, I wouldn't be messing with no fucking student. The fuck would I don't care. Fuck I wanna mess with the students for? Because it just carries with it trouble. And so you're gonna lose your job not because you can't coach, but because you break the rules that they make. And you know they cannot college football, whatever, they can't volleyball championship. You any of these organizations or groups, and you are coach or you are in charge, you can't you can't be sleeping with the women. It's also an issue of comfortability. The parents feel comfortable. Parents don't want to send their well, whether they want to send them or not, if there's a coach that's smashing all the women, yeah, they're gonna think that their daughter or their kid is next. That's not good. And you would think the Negro wouldn't be so careless though. Maybe he's learned his lesson. A Becky Buffet. Hey man, I mean, but you can't sleep with the ones at that school. And that's indicative of a weak man. That he was weak to do that. That's super weak, man. You lose everything over a woman. Then you got a woman at home, they even make it worse. Cause now you gotta deal with divorce and the kids and the betrayal in addition to being fired. Yeah, that's pitiful, man. What he there ain't nothing else to say on that, man. I don't even know well, he crashing out now. Okay. Can't do it, man. You can't. And yeah, and some women, there's some women out there gonna make a big deal about it. I'm just saying they lost good jobs. They lost damn good jobs. And they ruin opportunities, man, for black men, damn near once in a lifetime. When you look at Notre Dame, when you look at Michigan, Michigan State, these are when you're gonna be getting the money. And they're prominent. They're prominent position. When you look at the black community, there's a certain amount of pride when you see a black head coach in 2025 taking his team to some type of championship or having a winning year, knowing the history of the black American and the way the black American has been in this society. When you can see black American rise up out of there, there's a certain amount of pride. That's why I don't see why they're so cavalier with getting the position, because this is a dude that doesn't care. You sleeping with students, man? Eddie Robinson. No, he wasn't. Somebody told me Doug Williams, they ran him out of there because he was messing with, I don't know if that's true. They say he was messing with them students. And to be honest with you, I'm not saying you should do it, but that's also indicative of a sloppy person. Because we still live in the real world, right? Are you gonna try to convince me the staff don't smash the students? Well, if they get caught, they're gonna get fired. But there's ways you can say, "Hey, uh, meet me somewhere." But once again, if you get caught, you're gonna get fired. You shouldn't do it. But if you right up on campus, hugged up on, yeah, you gonna get fired. You're going to get fired. You can't do that. Moore sent black coaches back about 10, yeah, about 20 years. Moore and Franklin, between Franklin and him. And then when you got the guy, what's that guy name? I ain't pronounced it right. Let me see. What's the guy? Indiana head coach. Congetti. He's Italian. I never seen that pronunciation before. That's Caitlin Clark's neck of the woods. Kurt Sinetti. Sinetti. That's my first Sinetti. I never seen that before. Head coach is Kurt Sinetti. Uh, on top of that would be Italian. Let me see where his history is from. Let's go take a look at this guy. Elon James Madison. Okay, okay, okay. James Madison. Okay. Elon. Elon. And he took over. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's 64. Let me see. No, I'm just looking. Yeah, he's married with 3 kids. Yeah. I don't see any side pieces. Yeah. And 13-0, and he beat Ohio State. What all these guys have been whining about. He did it. He did it. He did it. He went in there and he beat Ohio State. He's married. You don't hear any scandal hanging on him. See, too many of these Negroes think that don't apply to them. They think they can get in these jobs and they can do what the hell they want to do. And you know, and I see a lot of these YouTubers, they be saying stuff like that. Be like, man, you just can't do anything with your scream race. Well, guess what? You ain't gonna get nothing. Now check this out. Those women, they finna get paid. And now they're talking about college students, man. These are young men. They finna get paid. They finna get a bag, man. You talking about some life changing stuff. Man, they just Shannon shop. They might get as much. They'll get like 14, they can get like $10 million. And I'm telling you how the lawyer gonna say. The lawyer say she went to the university and she trusted him. He told her, you know, she was going through some stuff. He started to mentor her, and then she, you know, it led to that, you know. And she admits it was consensual, but she doesn't know any better. So you got to pay her. They're going to pay her. They're going to pay her. So you guys, you talk about, you can't go in there and do that, man. Then you shouldn't do it. You want to be a ladies' man, then you shouldn't coach then, because coaching ain't nothing. It's sports. Look at Cinetti. Look at him. Kurt Sagetti. What is it? What is this? Signetti. Kurt Signetti. Undefeated, going to the playoffs, new contract, married, 3 kids. You don't see any scandal behind his name. You see what I'm saying, man? And the Negro don't even understand. Like, man, you got Negroes out here making excuses for Sherrone Moore. You can't make no excuse for him, man. And then there are people who don't think he's a good coach. Well, I'd say he can't score. I don't know about. He might be good with defense, but he can't put no points on the board. And did Michigan? I gotta go. I don't think Michigan played Indiana. I don't think Michigan played them. But they beat them. And this is going to turn the whole black coach thing. It's going to turn it back to the way it was, man. SEC has no black coaches. It's going to turn it back. Going to turn it back to the way it was years ago. The Negro got nobody to blame but himself. You got Shannon. And that's the thing about Shannon that sort of pisses me off. You know, he shouldn't have done that, man. Making videos and just the stuff he does, man. It's just the immaturity. Shannon Sharp's got to be like 7 years. He's like 8 years old, man. It's just his mentality, the way he just does stuff. When he put his live stream on, because he was hawking that erectile dysfunction medicine. Instead of looking in the mirror on why he don't have the same women that Dion and Ocho do, instead of looking in the mirror, he looked on OnlyFans, got his ass sued. Nah, brother, there's more to it than that, man. You want the ones who don't want your money, bro, even though you got money. That's Dion. That's the way Dion and Ocho living right now. They're millionaires. Them women ain't. Have you heard those women say anything? Those women aren't filing any suits. They enjoy those men. But when you try to buy your way into it, and there's some other things going on, because I don't know why. Why are you sitting on there? Why is he on that stream with his all buffed out like he done been bench pressing 400 pounds? He done repped it. I'm like, what's this dude? Why are you sitting up there with this sports talk? But then again, I said, I don't think Shannon knows anything about sports, though. I don't. I don't. I know. And look, the format, I get it. It's a bunch of people talking. You got to make a point. You got limited time. I get that. I get that. He said, "Black Big Ten about to lose all their black coaches. We ain't coming back for a while." Well, there are other coaches out there. There are other coaches out there, and Michigan is a dream job. Michigan State is a good job, you know. But when you coach, man, it's a boring job. When you look at a Nick Saban, that's a head coach, man. When you look at Nick Saban, that's a head coach. He's been married for almost 50 years. He's boring. Probably I don't know what he does. He probably doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He just coaches football. He's reserved. He's like, that's what I'm saying. These dudes come in thinking they can sky through the bitch. They think they can smash all these women, and they're finding out they're not gonna let you do that, man. And in addition, both of these are college educated men. They should understand stereotypes and African American. They should understand that. Say, man, if you get caught sleeping with these students, that's just gonna pour gasoline on the fire that black men can't really control themselves around women. Are you willing to add to that? Because you're a prominent black person. Don't you want to leave an example? When you look at the Obama left an example of a married man. Obama was a married man. And that's the example he left for the world to see. How a married man raises his two kids. Right? Just that in general. You don't have to get in specific of who. So what I'm saying is that's the requirements for the black man. That's your requirement, man. You can't do that. You can't go to these universities and then that's how they're gonna view it. Um, they're gonna say you're taking advantage of the students. They're gonna say that. But you already signed a wait you signed a contract saying that you would not do this. And see the people who insure these universities, they demand that language be in the contract. When you go to a university, you have to sign that. But you're free to go wherever you want to go. If you want to go to the University of Georgia and talk to the women at the University of Georgia, you wouldn't get fired for it. I mean, that'd be up to them, but you could. And I've seen a lot of guys drop opportunity and money because of this. I've seen this. I've seen this. Guy get a promotion, they move him into a whole different uh uh what do they call that thing? A different section. In the section is some baddies in the section. And they sweet talk him. And they know he's a man. They sweet talk him to get what they want. And if they can get something on him, and that's another thing. That's what they do. You talk about rotation. Whichever one can't get you, then they're gonna go tell that they've been sleeping with you. They gonna burn it all down. Whichever one you choose, y'all this stuff about let's talk about it. You gotta be built like that. You have to be built. This dude right here, he wasn't built. And neither was the dude from Michigan. You sitting in the bed yanking off. Come on, man. You can't do better than that, man. Get your grown ass up. Hang up the phone. What you talking to that woman now? You're a football coach
for the Michigan State. What are you doing talking to this woman for? And then why don't you just say, why don't you come on by? Can we date? Why don't you just say that? I'm not going to. What kind of man sits on a phone wanking off instead of asking a woman out and then get caught doing it, get your ass fired? And you in there talking about something that's consensual. And she says it's not. Can't be consensual if she says it's not. You got fired for that. You ain't get fired. He touched that woman. He got fired for jacking off on a phone call. And that woman, I think she recorded it. She turned that over to them. They got rid of him. He tried that. No, that's consensual. That was consensual. It was us together. We were doing some things with grown people. They said, okay, clean your shit out. And that's another thing, too. Why do Negroes think that these white, man, them people, that ain't nothing to them, man. A man, woman, they ain't nothing to them people, man. Them dudes are millionaires taking care of that university, making sure you or others don't put it at risk. They don't have no time for your nonsense, man. Oh, it was us together. They're gonna say, no, you can't harass if you work here, you can't harass any of the female staff or the people that we invite. Well, it was consensual. Okay, well, clean out your stuff. We'll see you in court. It wasn't consensual. And that's why you got yourself in trouble. You want to be able to do that with various women? Get you some game. See, you can't do it. You can't be a goofball square and then you trying to smash the women like that. You got to be like a Bill Belichick. Get married, grow old with your woman, man. Walk around in them soft shoes, checkerboard pants, and become invisible to women for the rest. See, Negroes don't want that. Oh, they don't want to become. But yeah, you become basically a Bill Belichick. I mean, a Nick Saban? He's invisible. He's invisible to women, man. That old white man. They ain't thinking about that, man. He got plenty of money though. If he wanted to do it, he could, but he don't want to. And that's what a university wants for a head coach. They want somebody they can trust. They want somebody they can trust, somebody they can build with. They can make money. That person keeps the integrity of the university intact. He said Mel Tucker sent his family back generations. He fumbled his $90 million contract. Yep, $90 million over not even over no coochie, over a phone call. Should have found. That's why you got to get you. I'm gonna say this again. We keep playing with this. That's why you gotta go get you a woman. You're a freaky dude like that. You want to do freaky stuff. You got to go. You got to put on your coat, man, your boots, and you got to go into the community, man. You got to go into the community. You got to go into the community. You got to talk to the women there. You got to tell the women you's old freaky nigga. Say, hey, listen, I need you to answer this phone call. And I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you, okay? Just make sure you answer. That's how you do that. You don't do that to that lady. Get yourself in trouble. And see, he still did it. See, this is what people they can and this is the thing with this. They're discriminating against black coaches and all of that. Okay. Are they? I mean, I don't even disagree with that. I don't even disagree that there's a certain amount of discrimination against African American head coaches. But you got to understand when you get that job, you're not going to get no breaks. And if you don't want somebody watching you, if you don't want to, the day you get those jobs, the day a business is you up for 30, like even Dion, the day a business invests that type of money in you, you live in a fishbowl. Now, they may not be just watching you like that, but they're going to, if somebody puts them on that you're doing something, They're going to investigate it. They're going to come. They're going to come. They're going to say, okay, coach is sleeping with the students. They got investigators. They're going to go have investigators check it out, and he's going to bring that information back. You're going to say, yeah, I watched him for 8 days, and this is what he did, this is what he did, this is what he did. And then they can make a move. They said, well, we got to let him go because he's violation of his contract. That's why you don't do it. And if you want to smash other women, maybe you need to stay single. Huh? When you look at someone like an Anthony Edwards, there's no expectations for him. They know what he is. You know what? And this is what a lot of Negroes get mad when you say you know what that is. You know what that is. Who don't know what that is? And they're gonna take his money too. And if you want to pay millions of dollars, which he is paying, be like him. But when you start talking about leadership, then who's asking? He said he didn't want to be no leader. The NBA said, can you just be a leader or a role model from the position? He said no. He said no. Anthony Edwards said, I'm in the streets, man. I'm in the streets. I'm running and gunning. I don't want to be nobody's role model. You know what I'm saying? That's just a complete lack of responsibility. You see what I'm saying? Somebody got to be. Well, who's going to be the leaders? Ain't this something just like when you look at a dude like Anthony Edwards? Yeah, I mean, what do you expect him to be? He's just a basketball player. And when you see these Negroes getting drugged in front of child support court and all that, they just dumb niggas who have no discipline as far as women. They'll just sleep with anybody. They'll jump in bed with anybody they can. And people, you say the white girl that was a setup, the snow. Well, but if I'm the dean, if I'm in charge of a university, and I think my coaches are weak, right? If I send white girls down to you and you fall for it, whose fault is your fault? It's your fault. It's your fault. You can't have it that way, man. And then when you look at a guy like a Dion, get you a woman, man. You don't need no school to get you no woman. Dion ain't messing with those women at that school. He got him a woman. Got him a nice little Carucci. That's her name, Carucci. He got him a woman. She got some high miles on her. But you see what he don't have to worry about nobody breaking his door down. He have to worry about nobody firing him from his job. He don't have to worry about none of that. Also, when he has a relationship with the kids, he don't want to smash the women they smash. He don't want to smash them. Those are the women that them dudes be talking about. That man don't want to talk about those women, man. He don't want those women. Why would he? Like the stream, bro. Yeah, that's another thing too, man. You coaching all those players. You don't want to deal with those women, man. He said Joy Taylor going viral again. I saw something on. I haven't seen her. She was talking about. I'd have to know what you're talking about, man. She did a stream. She was talking about, yeah, she don't want no kids. Look, Joy, all right, man. Joy done got lost though. See, that's the thing. Joy should have struck. She should have struck when the iron was hot. Joy is up there now, almost 40 years old. She really ain't hitting like that. And then, Joy wants a certain type of man. Because Joy thinks she thinks she all of that. So she wants a certain type of guy. She don't want Joy Taylor doesn't want an average dude. Yeah, she is. He said Joy Taylor watch. Yeah. Yeah. And that's isn't a sad thing about it. And I'm not talking about the Jason Whitlock, I mean, I don't know what his issue is, but he claimed he liked it. But actually, that's the type of Joy, that's actually the type of man you actually need. I mean, we know that'll never happen, right? But that's actually the type of man you need. Older black man, late 50s, multimillionaire, a little bit thirsty, a little bit out of relationships, looking for something young to keep his spirits up. Both you guys got sports background. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you don't, and that's fine. You don't. Actually that's what I'm saying. The type of man that would best benefit her. She's. That's why. See, Joy don't understand this, and we'll see it. Joy, you've already hit the wall, Joy, and I ain't got no problem with you. But I wish you'd have been a little bit more mature with relationships because you're very immature. You're gonna pay for that, Joy. And the type of dude that you're gonna get, Joy, he gonna burn through the type that you've been getting, the same types you've been getting. They blaze through your ass and then hit you with then ghost you. Get used to it, Joy. That's your future. Man, I think a lot of these brothers need more discipline, man. I think that the worst thing you can do as a man is be in a leadership position around women, young, beautiful women, and you thirsty. You need to just turn that position down, man, and go do another job because you're going to mess up everything you got, man. Everything you got over something that is trivial. You could have a player. You could be the head coach, man. You don't even mess with the students. You could be a head coach, and they're going to say, what else you do? You do PT. So I'm the head coach here, and my other job is I'm the physical instructor, but all my I got a staff of 3. They handle everything. I just put it together. So you don't even deal with the students other than your players. You can have a player be like, hey, coach, you need this guy, right? I broke up with my girlfriend, coach. She won't talk to me. I can't focus on the game. And as a coach, you say, okay, who is it? Who is it? And you go down there as a coach thinking that you're being a coach, and you mess around there and get fired. You shouldn't even be dealing with those women down there. They'll tell you they ain't none of your business. Some dudes say they're addicted to flicks. You think Shannon look at a lot of flicks? Sherrone Moore got a flick. He got some flicks on his phone. Bro, that's up to you. That's some people. Do you believe it or not? A lot of people don't look at that. It's up to you, man. You still got to function in this society. I don't care what America is makes or allows to be made, that you still got to be responsible and function in this society. And if you get married, you got to be a husband or you got to be a wife. And guess what? The kids got to be raised, right? These are all things that are very important. They change lives and all of that. So these things have to happen that kind of way. But there is a certain lack of responsibility the Negro. Yeah, maybe this, and you would think, say, hey, is this going to wake black men up that they got to be a little bit more responsible? You would hope so, man. You would hope so. And my thing with the Kurt Sigetti, the Kurt, is it Sinetti? Yeah, Kurt Signetti. With him, he'll probably make the pros, man. He went undefeated. He went undefeated. He got that coach from Cal. That guy transferred a year ago from Cal. And they're talking about he gonna win the Heisman. They beat Ohio State, even though in Ohio State they missed a field goal, but they beat Ohio State. That's supposed to be impossible. Ex James Frank. That's what I'm saying, bro. Give me a black head coach, man, who's like a Sinetti, who can come into a losing organization, and within 3-4 years, they're damn near about to get a championship. And then how you gonna fire him? You can't fire him. Can't do nothing but pay him. Or he'll do like Lane. He'll go to another school. So that's what I'm saying. That's when you look. That's the solution. When you look at a Sherrone Moore, that's not the solution. And people question if he was even a good coach, but that's not the solution. Him. And then you mess around with students, and you're a married man, and you want the kids to look up to the program and look up to the head coach. Your head coach acting like, nah, this nigga locked up because you didn't fight, or maybe I think somebody threatened the baby mama. Come on, man. Come on, man. And Negroes want to die on that hill. I'm not dying on no hill for no Sherrone Moore. Sherrone Moore. I'm not dying on that hill. The Michigan guy, I don't know on that one. I don't know. 90 million, that's a lot of bread, bro. And Shannon, so you already know how he is. Dudes want women, bro. They need to just buy them. You need to say, hey, if you're a Shannon Sharp, look, they need to sit up. And that's the thing. They got all types of assistants. They got all types of lawyers. They already got them. They're part of their team. But they don't want to deal with the truth. They said brothers don't like paying. They pay. All three of them pay. If anything, the women the woman that he got pregnant, Sherrone Moore, the woman he got pregnant, and the woman from 3 years ago with Michigan State, man, they're gonna get just as much as Shannon Sharp, the woman Shannon. They're gonna get millions, man. They're gonna get millions of dollars for what those men did. That's another thing about hiring the people, right? You want to hire certain people. That person got to help your program. See, the biggest problem, especially with this YouTube, Negroes don't believe in rules. They don't believe in paying dues. The Negro's entire mindset, right, is like no jumper. It's just nigga talk. It's a lot of yelling and screaming. It's a lot of feminine energy when things don't go your way. That's all it is. It's like you go look at No Jumper and you see that collection of fucking misfits. It's a lot of screaming when things don't go their way. That's not how the world works. When you look at Michael Sherrod, when you look at him, when you look at the brother, the male, that's was Male Turner. When you look at this brother right here at Michigan State, when you look at this brother at Michigan, we look at Shannon Sharp. That's how the world works, man. That's how the world works. None of those women went on yelling matches. Them women got their lawyers, sued them. That woman already bragging. She's showing her house off. She bought a house for her family, her cars. That woman like 27. She says she's still gonna be on OnlyFans. She says she ain't gonna cut it all the way out. That woman didn't do no yelling. That woman got her lawyers. They made a videotape, but they don't know if that was consensual or not. That woman got a hold of that videotape. See, you could, like I'm saying, you got to have a form saying it is. If you make a videotape with a woman and she want to say you didn't have her permission, they'll take a look at it. He had to settle that suit because of that videotape. See, I know that because just talk ain't get you nowhere. But that tape, and it was a lot of stuff that was illegal in that tape. He knows that. Man, you can't do that. Like, you got to go get you a freak, man. That's every man. You can't mess with no woman, man, and y'all cool, and every now and then y'all sleep together, and then all of a sudden you show up with some flicks, some adult flicks, and then throw that out there, come on, let's do this together. Man, that woman ain't made, that ain't her thing, man. That ain't her thing, man. You got to go out there and get you a freak, man, to do the freaky stuff with you. He said black women live with no rules. I don't know where that come from. Since you brought it up, dudes lose jobs by women. Well, if you want to say black women get these guys sleep with them too, and they get their ass kicked out of school. That ain't the only coach. Go to them basketball coaches. Coaches get fired all the time for fraternization. You can't smash those women. If you're a teacher, can't smash the women there. You cannot. Michael Sherrod. No, my fault. I said that completely wrong, didn't I? I said that 100% wrong. Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore was booked into a jail. He was fired, and within moments he was booked into a jail. So something about the revelation of the affair and how it came. Maybe the police were called while he was being fired. Maybe the police were called before he was ever fired. Perhaps that was the incident, and that's how they found out. Perhaps there was an arrest made, and they found out then that this man was sleeping with someone on the staff. And they went on to see that, once they got it factual, they did this. My thing with the black community, though, this is my thing with the black community is black people want to be in all these positions, right? But then they get in these positions and they think there's no rules. That's one thing that's really messed the Negro. That's really messed the Negro's head up. Because even from a standpoint of religion, right? When you talk about faith and Christianity or Islam, right? Religion, right? And the tenets of religion. One of the biggest problems people say is don't nobody want to follow the tenets. Oh, they want to be a Christian, they want to be Islamic. But when it come down to what the book says, they don't want to follow the book. When the book say you got to do this and it's uncomfortable, they don't want nothing uncomfortable. So they want to do both. They want to be a sinner and a saint. And you can't do both. And guess what? Take the religion out. Now let's look at the real world. Because it's a dogma, right? No matter what you say, it's a philosophy, right? You can go with Christianity, and that's the philosophy of Jesus or the philosophy of the Bible, or you can go get you a Torah and you can go into Judaism and understand that, or you can become Buddhist and you can listen to the philosophy of a Buddhist. You got a Hindu, you can find it out. What's his name? Ramaswamy, Vivek Ramaswamy. He's a Hindu. So you can go through all these different faiths. And what you find within the faith is a philosophy. And some of that stuff is uncomfortable. But it's direction for you. If you want to truly benefit, this is what you have to do. You have to follow these rules. Do you want to be a member of this group, a member of this faith? And well, let's look at the same thing. Michigan State or Michigan. Michigan has a set of rules. A lot of it is legal. In order for them to get their insurance, these things have to be signed. They have to be emphasized, certain things, that requirements. Right? Well, what did the Negro did? He didn't listen or he didn't care. Now this is called punishment. I mean, if he threatened someone, or I said, no, well, you know what, man? I mean, if I lost 14 million, man, I'd probably be getting locked up too. I probably would be getting locked up. But it's a philosophy, man. It's the same thing. He didn't follow that philosophy, and that's one of the biggest problems. Talk to a lot of pastors with the Negro. The Negro don't want to follow the rules. The Negro wants to be both. That's the same thing about Joel Osteen. A lot of people don't like him. He got a very, very popular program on TV. Sounds great. It sounds great. Joel Osteen, if you really watch it, he'll tell you, get yourself a Bible thumping church. He'll tell you that because what he preaching ain't the Bible. He's giving you some of it. He's not giving you the whole thing. He's just giving you a feel good part of it. It's other things to it, man. You know, the fire, the brimstone. That's what this brother's finna go through, fire and brimstone. And that's the thing about success, right? Prominent black men. You're supposed to be tempted, though. If you understand our society, if you understand America, you're supposed to be tempted. The temptation is going to come from Satan. He's going to tempt you. And that's why you got to be a man of faith. When you have faith, you fall back on your faith. Doesn't matter what Satan does, because see, you know right from wrong already. So when you see the big booty chick come through and you're in your office and she's beautiful and you've heard things from the football team about her, the quarterback was bragging on her stuff, not that you were listening to, you just heard it, and there she is and she comes in flirting with you. Since you understand Satan, you're not going to fall for it. And you don't have to go off on her either. You don't. You could tell her no. No, I won't be able to help you with that. And next time you come into this room, right? Knock on the door. Yeah, just don't walk in here. Knock on the door. And then when she knocks, you have your secretary or you have someone come in with her. Just have them stand in the corner. Oh, you want her to see that. When she comes in to talk to you, she's standing right there. She's right there in the corner. Because you want anything, any communications we have, because you can cost me my job, we need to have recorded. And I don't care what you can sleep with the football team to the end of time, but I'm not interested. You'll cost me my $90 million contract and you'll cost me a relationship with my kids. See, I didn't even bring up the wife part because, you can find it out. But what I'm saying, he going to cost you, the relationship with your kids. Just what Shaq said. It was the worst thing for him. Shaq said, I had a huge mansion. He said, a lot of the stuff I had was for them. And he said, here I am walking around this big mansion with all of these child things for kids, and I'm by myself. He said he hated that part of it. Absolutely hated. He had 5 kids. He wanted to see them grow, and we got Christmas, and you got Thanksgiving, and let's go out in the backyard and throw a baseball. He lost all of that because he got caught committing adultery, and his wife or whatever, filed. And the judge gave her custody. She took the kids. So I'm saying you're a big coach. Maybe you're like a Archie Manning. Maybe you want your child Peyton to be like you. So maybe you want your kid to play basketball, football. So why would you mess with a thought? Why would you even fall for something like that? Why? You should have cameras all up in that coach's office. And see, this is where we differ because I'm trying to think, was there a period of my life that I would have failed for that? I'm trying to think. I wouldn't have had the coaching job though, but by the time you become a coach, you're talking about late 30s, 40s. I think the guy for Marcus Freeman for Notre Dame, I think he's a young guy. I think he's like 38, 39. But what I'm saying is that's the job, man. That's the job. You go to the job, you go to the job to do the job. You get hired to do a job. You can't sleep with the women here. That's not even a compromise. That's irrelevant. That's like you go work for Google, and one of the criteria is you can't sleep with the people who work for Google. What are you gonna do? Turn down the job? You say, man, I can go work for Google and make 1.3 million a year, but I can't sleep with the women here. Oh, I'm gonna sleep with the women anyhow, man. That's a fool. That's what I'm saying. You said that's what I'm saying. When you think about it, it's a fool. That's a fool, man. That's a fool. That's stupid. That's just stupid. I don't care what Mike says. You shouldn't have done that, man. Don't give me the bird and the bees bullshit. You messed up a life-changing situation because of, and the school got to protect itself. That woman paid though. If I was a dude at that school, if you somebody and you play football for Michigan, you need to catch up with that chick. She finna get a bag, bro. She finna get the bag. She finna get it. They got to pay her. He's a leader there. Can't sleep with those students, man. When you look at the Bill Belichick, right, and his she ain't even have a third of his age. She like 26. He's like what 73 or something like that. He had her before he got there. You see how there really ain't no rule against it. They just don't want you to sleep with the people who attend that university. And guess what? If his girlfriend, I don't know how they doing that because I don't know what she doing there. I don't know. You got to go look it up. What capacity she is at that school. I think she's doing something at the school which would make her staff. But I think you can be married or you can be with each other. Well, you would think the discipline to get you there would have you right. Yep. Yep. There are gonna be some people who say he should have never got the job. You're right. Yep. You got to go through that. You got to walk down that fire, man. You got to, in order to get to certain places, there's certain sacrifices you have to make before you get there. And the white supremacist gonna say he should have never got the job. He's DEI, all of that. I don't agree with that. Did I think he could coach Michigan? That was a lot, man. If you want a full plate, yeah, I mean, because university, we automatically know they got to play Ohio State and they're expected to win, and they don't care about your excuses. And Ohio State, guess what? That guy, he's back on the hot seat. The guy who won the championship, he'll have to redeem himself in the playoffs. They already talking about firing him. They already talking about firing him again. They were talking about firing him last year after he lost to Michigan, but he went through the playoffs and he won, so he's championship. Now he's back 13-1 or 12-1. Might have to play Indiana again. So now he's got a bracket. But at the end of the day, man, it is that simple, man. When you look back at our black community, right? And civil rights, and you look at all of that stuff, man, them guys weren't doing that. Them guys understood uh, discipline and stuff like that. They weren't doing that. People love to talk about the FBI. That was illegal, and I don't believe it. See, you know what? That stuff that they gonna give you what they want to give you. I don't believe none of that stuff. The FBI, Dr. King was sleeping with all that. I don't agree with none of that. I don't agree with that. I think those are just lies because they wanted to ruin his image. They just made up some stuff. And the Negroes gonna believe that. They know that. They know they can tell a Negro anything. But the thing about it, you got to be disciplined. Yeah, he's in custody now. That's another thing, man. If you out here dealing with women, man, and you get caught, just back up off that situation, man. Back up off that situation. Just back up, man, because all you're gonna do is get locked up. That's all you're gonna do, get locked up. And for them to keep him, it's more to this story because you would think he would be out. But if it's if he threatened somebody, if he threatened that woman, yeah, he got to deal with that. That's the real world. See, when you start talking about the hood, see, in the hood, they threaten each other all the time. They're niggas. They're animals. It's almost like lawless. It's a bunch of people who are lawless. That's why they tear down the Walgreens. They tear down the CVS. They tear that stuff down. They don't understand you're going to cost that business. It's insurance. The insurance going to pay for all the stuff you took, but then they going to cut the insurance, and then that man have to close his business down. And then that's going to be somebody, maybe your little brother, maybe your little sister, who could have did that part-time at that same place for about 3 years, 4 years while they graduate either high school or college. But because you tore it down and you don't have that business there. But then again, if you don't understand, see, and it goes to the sausage making, right? A lot of the Negroes don't understand the sausage making of our society. They don't understand everything it takes to build a society. They think that they just woke up and everything's built and everything's fine and they don't give a damn. They just want theirs. Well, like the person in the chat say, it's deliberately hard to build you up so that you are ready for those positions. And yeah, you're right. You look at Lane Kiffin. You guys want to see somebody, a white man, who was put through the ringer? Now, hold up. He did get the privilege. He got Tennessee job. He got USC. He got these good jobs. Somebody said, I think he coached, but then Alabama. He got I'm not gonna go through Lane Kiffin's. I don't know him like that. I know he coached Ole Miss, but I know he had to go start over. I know he was at Alabama as an assistant coach, and then he went to FIU. I think he won 2 years. Then he got Ole Miss, and that was the crown jewel for them. And now LSU, he finna get that team. And LSU got different players, man. He gonna win them a championship with LSU because the players, the defense is tougher. That's them Cajun, that's them Louisiana boys. And that's slave country, man. When you start getting into France and Louisiana Purchase and the history of the genetics, man, you got a lot of the athletes there. I'm not see. That's the thing. He gonna get a lot of the locals. At Ole Miss, you get some Ole Miss locals, and then you recruit. But just being at LSU, having first dibs at that type of talent, he'll win a championship with LSU, man. I can see that. Will I be on him next year? I don't know. I don't trust him like that. He still be messing up too. So okay, he'll throw out he'll just like he did with Washington this year, Washington State. He almost lost to Washington State, man. Washington State was like 21-point underdogs. They came out, they was up, but he came back and he finally beat them. And they're saying that's why a lot of women don't want to get married because what marriage entails, They want to be out there. They want to be out there. They want to be, all over the place. That's what a brother, and they show you this stuff, all this conversation up here, a side piece. Well, man, you want the side piece, but you don't want to ruin your marriage. So you can say, yeah, I want a side piece, but I don't want to ruin my marriage. So then you don't mess with the side piece. And this is the money though, man. It's like if you're a quarterback, they want a certain type of quarterback. With that Cam Newton. Cam Newton not even in the league no more. Cam Newton is healthy enough. He could easily play another 4 years. They just signed Phillip Rivers. He's almost 50. He's 46 years old. They just signed him. The Indianapolis coach signed him. Cam's like 32 or 33, something like that. 34. He's running around on YouTube. To a certain degree, Cam can make a case that Yeah, I would agree with him. For him to be that young, but all he did was he didn't take a COVID test, and Bill cut him. And well, there's more to it than that, though. Yeah, because he went to some teams, and but if Phil Rivers can play, and Joe Flacco, Cam Newton should have a job somewhere, but they don't want him. That's why he don't have it. Sherrone Moore. Sherrone Moore was booked into prison. I'm gonna see if I can find why he's in jail. Hold up, let me see. Said he lost his job, might lose his wife, half his income, plus he won't even get a 8-figure buyout. Oh, and the woman he had an affair with is pregnant. Yeah, yeah. That's what happens, man. You get a little money in your pocket, you don't know how to control yourself. You try to get into all these things, man, and then you remember let me see. Let me see. Because this matters too. Sherrone. Here we go. He got 3 daughters, man. That man got 3 daughters, so that makes it even stupid. I mean, it makes it beyond it's not even conscionable right now, man. I mean, you got 3 kids by this woman, 3 children, and you out here sleeping with students and shit like that or getting fired. You're gonna lose your money, you're gonna lose connection to your family. He's gonna lose most of his salary. Now, this is the thing. He doesn't have um he doesn't have the ability to make it back. See, it's one thing to get out of the NFL, right? So you retire, right? Well, then you can go into broadcasting or you can go into coaching. And you might have to start like Michael Vick, you might have to start really, really low. But you got to say have a 10-year plan and you got to win. So you start out with Northern Idaho. You know, you win that year, win the conference, then move on to Kent State. You win that conference, then you come in with a FIU or FAU, and then you win there. Then you'll get a bite from the big conference, but immediately no. But yeah, he's going to lose. He's going to lose his job, check. Lose his wife, check. Lose relationship with his 3 daughters, check. His money's going to be cut in half, check. No buyout. In addition to the woman putting him on child support because he's got a new baby and his marketable skills, what is he going to do? If his money comes from coaching football, okay, where is he going to coach football with all of this stuff behind him? So that means he can't make the money. He can't make the type of money he wants to make. Maybe he can wind up selling cars or selling insurance or something like that. Maybe. Maybe. Say he doubled her salary. So they had a coaches only meeting without him. He caught wind of it, went to the side piece house with a blade and kicked the door down and was yelling. Okay. Yeah. All right. He had a blade with him. He went to the side piece's house with a blade, kicked down the door. Yep. Yep. That's how it go, man. Too little, too late. Man, that is some money there. Can you imagine the lawsuit? The coach, the active coach of the Michigan Wolverine kicked down your door with a blade in his hand. All about uh, things that you were at the university. He's the man, you're the woman. He's the bad guy. Bruh, she gonna get a bag. Man, she gonna get paid, bro. She finna get paid. And then what about your 3 daughters, brother? They daddy's in jail. Oh, they said she's ugly too. Oh man, mess his bag up, bro. He said he went after his wife. He broke into his wife and his mistress' house, got into an altercation with both of them, threatened to delete his mistress and himself, fled, then got detained by the cops, turned over to Pittsfield Township for potential charge. Said he didn't break into, he broke into assistant's house. I guess she was an assistant coach. Yeah, that's how it go, man. You start flailing out of control, man. Ain't really nothing to say on that, man. Inappropriate relationship. Well, his wife, okay, yeah, but he slept with a woman. Anyhow, the whatever it turned left. And let me say something else. That could have came from a coach. The fact that it was common knowledge that he was doing that could have came from a coach, man. He assumed that she said something. He assumes that she said something. Them coaches, they all work together, man. You think they can't tell? Grown ass man can't tell with 2 people. They keep flirting with each other. They keep flirting with each other. You know that the rules prohibit you guys from doing it. Next, you know, you see some things. Guess what? Guess what? In the real world, that coach thinking about himself. That coach would love to be the head coach. That coach would love to be the head coach. You giving him all that information, and then you step out there. You step out there and tell the world that he's cheating, and you got proof, and you can prove it. University went after. Well, they said, okay, fire. All this jail stuff, they don't care about him. Because guess what? He's no longer connected to the university now. So whatever money, and see him and his wife, that's probably why he ain't bailed out. Who gonna go down there and get him out? Somebody got to go get him, right? I mean, he's dependent on his wife to do this stuff now. He missed a bowl game. That was probably 300,000. Yeah, he's not going to be on the team, and he didn't establish himself enough. So you won't start talking about starting at the bottom, bro. He gonna wind up going to Hawaii, probably Hawaii State, the community college of Hawaii, Waikiki State. They pay you probably 90,000 a year. And you were making like 8 million a year. Now you're making 90. I know some brothers right now. The brother that's at Miami, Ohio. No, NIU. My fault. He's at NIU. That brother needs opportunity, man, to coach in the big leagues. He needs it. I doubt if he gets it, but he needs it. And then the interracial side of it, right? White woman, black man, white women all over the place. It broke his spirit. He probably did come in with an attitude and I'm a happily married man and 3 kids. He probably was like that. But looking at all that ass all day, every day on that campus, him seeing it, that broke his ass. He broke, man, spirit, that challenged his spirit and just broke his ass. He had to give in. He snapped. He pulled a Bill Clinton, didn't he? He pulled him a Bill Clinton. I think when you look at the guys like the Shannons and you look at a Shannon Sharp, you look at all of these guys, I think that you can you can have a conversation, legitimate conversation that these guys are bad in general, and they're not a true depiction of black men. I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't think they're a true depiction of a black man. By them being out of control, thirsty like that, you more concerned with box than bag. Instead of you trying to get your money up, trying to get your numbers together, you running around here chasing box. I don't think that's a good depiction of a black man. I think that's a false depiction of a black man. Like the stream, man. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. What do you think about this guy? Sherrone Moore, fired. Fired. Some commotion happened as far as with his wife and the mistress. Something about a knife, a blade. He ran around. He ran behind one of. Yeah, his ass is locked up right now. He's still fired too. That's the thing. He didn't think, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. Okay, I just lost my job. If I go in there and do this, I lost my job. But if I go in there and I start a fight, I'm gonna lose my freedom. Yeah, he didn't think about that. He didn't think about that. And it's sad, man. They can have no offense. And I don't know this brother that they got. He's supposed to be a big time recruit. I ain't throwing the ball behind. I mean, that's just Michigan. They beat Northwestern by a point. 1 point. Yeah, so the fans had soured on him anyhow. Yeah, they're saying basically there was a teams only meeting. It got back out to him. He's the head coach. What they were talking about, somebody let him know. He snapped, went after the staff member, had a conversation with his wife, probably threatened her about she better not leave him. That's why his ass is still in custody now. Because she probably right now packing up, getting the girls. She making arrangements. Mama, I'm coming home. Packing all his shit out while he's walking around a jail cell mad. Yeah, man. What's up with you, Mercy?
Man, that's crazy, yo. I can't believe. No, you sure I mean, that dude broke down the door with a knife in his hand?
Yeah, Blade. Yeah, don't say the name.
I'm sorry, Blade. But what is wrong with the man? What is wrong? Man, this dude is the head coach of.
Women, man.
Nah, man, I can't put this on the women, man. This dude, he need to control his
I'm not
emotions, man.
I'm not blaming. I'm
You
blaming
said
him.
women. That's what you said.
You said what's
I'm
on his
like,
mind? Women.
nah, something wrong with him though. I'm trying to figure out why he broke down the door, getting
Yeah,
violent for
it
what?
got out, man. I don't know. Conversations got out.
I mean, come on, man. You a prominent figure for a Division I school, man. You making that bread, that wop. I mean, what you doing? Acting? I mean, I ain't know all that happened, man. I thought it was just a scandal. I ain't know all that happened. I was thinking the dude was falsely accused. I said, why would a head coach of a Division I school get caught up in some stuff? I said, man, it's
Yeah,
probably some
falsely
false
accused of what?
accusation.
Hold up.
But I
Falsely
didn't know he
accused.
broke down the door.
Falsely accused of having a relationship with someone. That ain't nothing false about that. If they
Nah,
said
but
that,
I didn't know he. Yeah, go ahead.
if they said that, it's allegations that he was cheating on his wife, right? Then you're right. There's allegations. We don't know if that's true, but they're saying a relationship, and there's even conversation that the woman is pregnant by him. So it's hard to deny. Plus, he went to jail. So and you're right, and he does have a big contract, and so man, this is the thing about it, Mercy. Be careful what you wish for. A lot of guys, be careful what you wish for. Because I've said that over here because we talk about the whole incel man, no woman, man. Be careful because when you get that woman, you're still you got to take care of her. You're gonna have to deal, you have to cohabitate. Are you ready for that? You ain't gonna be able to walk around in your drawers. You ain't gonna be able to walk around barefoot. You got to take care of yourself, man. You got to present yourself. And when you have your kids, what are the kids seeing as they grow up? The Cheerios and the video games, them days are over. Are you ready for that? Some dudes ain't ready to let the video games go. That's why I always say, man, be careful what you wish for, because maybe women just ain't your thing. Maybe it's that man's thing. I can say that about him. I can say
But
that
he's not
about
an
him.
incel though. He got a wife and a whole family.
I
He's
know,
not
but
an
I could
incel.
say that maybe his attraction to women is so of such a degree that it puts his own success at risk. Yeah, certain jobs you don't want to work. You say, well, I ain't, yeah, I don't want to work around all them women, man, because I already know what they're gonna do, and I ain't gonna get caught up. Guys get fired messing with women they shouldn't mess with.
Married but weak for the pussy.
Well, then you don't want to work at those. Let me tell you something, man. If you weak for women, don't work for colleges. There's just too many of them. And what I mean by that is it's going to be a few in there that you find. You're going to have to be careful, man. You'll lose everything. And you can't listen to niggas in the background. See, that's another thing. They got away with it. That don't mean you're going to get away with it. That's one of the biggest things that mess dudes up. They'll come in, man, that dude, Kofo, he had 3 girlfriends, man. And then you go and your ass get locked up.
But Platt, come on, man. This man got a wife, kids, and he kicked down the door. I mean, come on, man.
He lost millions. He lost an $8 million job.
I mean, he kicked down the door, though, Platt. That is over the top, man. I don't care.
He needs to kick down the coaching door. That's what he need to do. He need to be at that coaches only meeting, kicking the door down to get in there and learn how to coach.
Listen, that's what we call a crash out.
Man, if all that's true, he kicked down the door and all that, what you saying, man, he deserved that, bro. I'm sorry. I can't feel sorry for him. You got to be, as a man, you got to control your emotions as a man. That's just what it is.
Yeah, there you go. You see that, like you just said, he ain't controlling. That's why he was sleeping with that woman. He don't want to control his emotions.
See, you keep making about you keep making about the stuff. See, the stuff that matters, he kicked down the door and he charged in there with the blade. That's the thing that got him in trouble. I think that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's what they keeping.
I think
you
that's
like
what messed him up.
Well, it could be more to it. He might be charged. Right now, they haven't charged him. They could put him in there and say, "You threatened to delete her." That's a major. You got to fight that, man. You can't do that. You can't go to nobody's house with a blade talking about you gonna delete them. If he did that, man, and they got him, he's got more problems. He got 3 daughters and a wife, 4. So it's a house full of women or a house full of females, and that's still his wife and kids, man. He don't have a whole lot right now. He was cheating on his wife. Oh, punish him. Oh, punish him. Well, that's between him and his wife. But yeah, if she leaves him and takes the kids, he ain't gonna be coaching for a while, man.
Probably ever, honestly.
Yeah, so what is he gonna do? Because he's gonna lose all his money. He got no San Diego ain't gonna hire him no time. I'd say in the next 5 years, he's gonna have to find something to do. I don't know what he can do for the next 5 years. Look at the amount of money he was making. He's making like $8 million a year with Michigan.
Nigga gonna be coaching high school or something.
But still, it's going to be a boys' school. It's going to be like a something like that, academy. Andrews Academy, all men.
He gonna have to first beat this case, though.
Yeah,
and what they
that's
if all that happened,
that costs money.
It's gonna cost a lot of money for a lawyer, bro. That's all I got to say. He gonna need one of the real good lawyers.
I don't even know if he can make high school right now, man, because he got her pregnant, and You got other people who are in they're in the they got kids in school and they gonna want him coaching.
Mm.
But no, man, that's the game, bro. How come black men, when you see black men and they have access and opportunity, why are so many of them, these women, why are so many of them caving?
That's what I came on here for. Look, man, these niggas is weak, man. It ain't nothing else to say about it, man. Like, we see this time and time again. If niggas ain't losing their bag, they crashing out. You know, they trying to delete the female and all this shit. Niggas is weak, bro.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I talked to Mela a couple weeks ago, and I had asked her, like, why you come on here? And one of the things she mentioned was to hear Platt, you know, talk on these weak niggas. And I'm like, shit, I can't even blame you. I can't even blame you because niggas is weak. It ain't nothing else. Nothing else to really say. Like, just weak for the pussy. You know what I'm saying? And then after being weak for the pussy, you know, you gonna crash out. You know what I'm saying? Like, just lose it all over a female, man. Like,
Yeah, and then you married.
And you married, you know.
So what do you, I mean, you want to talk about entitlement. So you married, you get caught sleeping with somebody on the staff, a female you're not supposed to, you get caught, and then instead of you accepting, like maybe put your hands, you know, in your face and feel like you failed and say I fucked up, you run around here with a fucking blade chasing bitches, getting your ass slung in jail. So that's what I'm saying, bro.
And what the black man got to understand, man, for him, you know what I'm saying? He looks horrible, but when he looks bad, all of us look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get a prominent position, when these white folks, these donors, these boosters, they give a black man a shot. And this is what comes of it. Like, we all suffer in the eyes of this system, you know what I'm saying? And nigga, it just baffles me that niggas just refuse to think. Like, just think about somebody more than just like yourself, you know? I don't know, man. I don't know if it's ever gonna change. Real talk.
And let me say this: when you say men and women, wherever you go, if you went to the Chicago Police Force or the Atlanta Fire Department or the city building in this city, the state building in this state, if you went to all of these things, people are going to be human beings. They're going to sleep with each other in the sense they want to do it, right? The whole point is it can't be over, I'm in a position where I can help you. So, because it's unfair to everybody. Oh, because you sleeping with her, she'll get the promotion. I don't get the promotion. Even though I'm working my ass off, you give it to her. She don't even work as hard. So that's what I'm saying. That's why they don't. That's why they do that, and we act like, you know, that stuff don't exist. He had a good job, man. A smart man. If you Sherrone Moore, all you got to do, man, is recruit. You shut your mouth up, and you go on recruit. You get good players, better players. You making 8-9 million a year. You play in a conference that's on TV. You get to play against Ohio State. You get look at now. You got Indiana's out here undefeated. You can so your conference. You in a money making. Why are you worried about these women that go to this school, man? Go home and slam your wife, man. You got 3 kids from her. You must like something about her. Don't do that over these women here. You're gonna mess. And then he did, and then he crashed out. That's another thing. That's another strike against black men. Instead of him accepting he did wrong, he out here he done ran and got a blade and he trying to run up in motherfuckers' house. They looking outside and shit. So Michigan coach down there.
Talk about I'm gonna delete myself, putting a blade to your own throat. Nigga, you ain't gonna do shit. Niggas is weak, bro. And it's sad. It's sad.
Man, one thing you got to do though, see, he was on that call. One thing you got to do when you guys get out, when you hit 26, you got to close the book on what men from 21 to 26 do. I'm serious, man. I'd take it down to 18. You got to close that doors, man, because they're going to be able to do things that you're going to have. It's not going to be as easy as you think because you're an older guy. Now, it's just not, they're not going to be the same way with you. So, and I'm going to tell you something, they always be bragging on 2 or 3 women. That's stone freaks. And in many cases are very attractive. But when guys try to mess with them and guys are like 30, 31, them niggas normally get sent to jail. They have some type of disagreement. You don't see that nigga got locked up. You can't go by what the relationship she has with guys around her age versus relationship she deals with older guys. They're 2 different things. 2 different things. So I don't go by when guys be telling me what women do and what they've done and stuff, and those guys are a certain age. I just say, hey man, that's for you, man. That's them your women. Do your thing, bro. But see, he jumped out there, man. And see, he shouldn't have got a little girlfriend at work. Shouldn't have done. See, he's too old to do. It's like, man, why are you doing this? Yeah, man, you got a wife. You got 3 girls you're trying to raise. You're a black man in America. You making $8 million a year. You used to coach at Louisville, bro. You at Michigan now. You know people. People know you. Jim, show yourself, man. Go out here and win. Beat Ohio State a couple of times. And maybe Jim put a word in. You in the NFL now making NFL money. But you over here trying to smash on some chick. And then now you got caught. But it didn't matter anyhow because all that woman got to do is tell the world she's sleeping with you and you're finished. And she gets to sue the university. If a member of that faculty sleeps with her, she can sue. Because you're not supposed to be doing that. And all this grown woman, they don't care. Not for that. Not if you're in a school status. They don't look at it like that. Because immediately they're going to think the man is preying on the women. That's just the way they're going to look at it. You're older. You're a coach. She's a student. She's a freshman. She's a sophomore. She's 20. You're 48. You're the head coach for the Wolverines. Yeah, that just, they're going to favor her. They're going to say, you know better. She don't. But that's the thing. But your wife can be 18 at the University of Dallas because she ain't at the same school as you. And she could be even younger than her. But you still got to follow rules. And you understand why they have them. That's why you didn't want to think about that on campus. Because you know it's going to destroy a man. Why is it so important to do something that's going to be negative, that's going to negatively impact you? Says she's the daughter of an NFL scout too. But it may be done in the future. Well, hey man, if you know, no, you want to talk to women, man, why don't you go in Michigan? There's plenty of places to go in Michigan. But see what I'm saying? He shouldn't even they know who he is. He probably want to get a divorce too. Well, he should have done this beforehand.
Right.
And now it's too late. But go ahead, brother.
No, but and that's something that niggas gotta fix, man. We fall into this mentality of, well, why he can't do what she do and all this shit. Well, he's getting paid $8 million a year to follow certain guidelines, procedures, and protocols. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if he don't want to get paid that hefty salary, go ahead and be a civilian. You know what I'm saying? Be regular people, then you can do this type of shit, and it won't cost you. You know, but if you want to get paid them big bucks, yes, there's Title IX and, you know what I'm saying, different bylaws and procedures that you have to abide by. Like that's what responsibility is. You know what I'm saying? Period, point blank. And it, like, we ain't got it right yet, man. We as a people, we have not figured that out. And it bothers me. It does. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, as a black man, you got a woman. She's the wife, your wife, and the mother to your kids, and y'all doing fine, man. And on occasion, you nothing that you would tell the world. You tip out on occasion. You tip out, and you've been very successful with tipping out. But mostly, you be with her. Man, you got to know you in a fishbowl. You get a university. If you get any type of major coaching position, you're in a fishbowl now. Everything you do matters. Everything you do, it matters, man. So you're not going to be able to casually, you're married, but you be seen across town with various strange. You're not going to be able to do that. That's going to get back. That's going to get back. And all of them, not just, everywhere, people, especially now in the age of social media, there's all these organizations, they keep up with you. You say Google gonna want to know who you are. And Kevin used to talk about this marriage. Look, man, it depends on you. But if you want to, when you start talking about U.S. Senator, when you start talking about major positions, they expect you to be married. Because they don't even want to deal, you can't even start talking like that. If you type of dude, what you doing this weekend? I'll be with my wife and kids. What you doing this weekend? I don't know. I'm going to tear down some strip. They're not going to hire you. They're just not going to hire you. Because there's expectations when they have their parties, the women you bring. Those are the type of women that's a part of how they assess you. What kind of woman are you dating? Professional woman, a professional woman who quit a professional to have your babies. There's expectations, man. That's what I'm saying. Too much in the black community, too much of the hood and the ghetto is just too pronounced. Because that ain't how you live. But that's the community. Community is fucked up though. And Marlon Wayans, no, that was Michael Epps. Michael Epps got in trouble because he said you dumb niggas celebrate these jail niggas who get out of jail way too much. And he's right. They do. He was talking about the Blueface. He's right. The BMF, he's right. The community, man, who's going to respect the community? That's who you guys look up to. That's who you guys care about, those guys. And then you look at someone like a Sherrone, and he's out here sleeping. Sherrone Moore, he's out here sleeping with staff members or who might be a student. when all of that money and you got a university that don't have no time. We got a football coach. We don't have no time to worry about them. We worry about a basketball coach. We worried about other parts of our university. He out here doing dumb shit. They had no choice but to fire him, man. And there are niggas out there who say, well, they doing him wrong. How? Yeah, how are they doing him wrong? What's wrong with just doing what they ask you to do?
Thinking with the wrong head, as they say.
Yeah, but what's wrong with just, how come we can't do what if they say they don't want you sleeping with students, who's hiding anything? When I go to work, I go to work. When I leave, I leave. Ain't gonna be nobody but me, the person I bought there, me, nobody. Oh, don't mess with the students. I won't mess with them women. I've seen women before. I've seen them before. I know how they come. Some come attractive, some don't. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to another place and deal with them. It's just that it ain't even hard to do. But when he made him, he made his football staff member a boo thing, got his ass fired. And a pastor, all of this stuff, man, comes with it. This reality, man. Sometimes you got to sacrifice for the greater good. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't be Malcolm X. Everybody can't be a Barack Obama. Everybody can't be these unique individuals. But the few blacks who rise to the top, this is uncommon. I'm telling you what's going on now in 2025, or I'd say in the last 10 years, is completely uncommon to what, say, the black community. If you go back to the 40s, you got World War II, the 50s, blacks, and then go back to when we were colored. Blacks had a different way they dealt with the world. They weren't trying to be like the white man. No, they didn't say, okay, this white man, he's a degenerate and a low life, and I want to get me some money so I could not. Blacks understood they were blacks, and they dealt with things from a black perspective. For you to go and lose a $4 million, $8 million a year job over a woman, and then go to jail like you ain't wrong. What does the knife got to do with it? What do they got to do with you sleeping? You guys are already pregnant, man. Bro, we don't have, you know what? We don't have it all either. So we don't. We don't have it all. It's a whole lot wrong with us, man. You ruin your football career. You cheat on your wife, you get caught, you got daughters. Think about that. Why would you would say, hey man, I got a house full of ladies. I can't disappoint them.
Mm-hmm.
You would think. No, I'm just saying you would think, right?
You would think.
But no, what do? You go out, you get the woman pregnant. Everybody gonna know. And them other coaches, they do want your job. All you gotta do is open up, and they know you sleeping with somebody on the staff. And then somebody must have snitched to you and told you that they was doing it, because that's how you find out they had a teams only meeting. So what you do, you go get a blade and start trying to run up on motherfuckers. And my thing is, these are millionaires. But I was like, man, black people, you want to talk about racism and stuff like that. I said, man, black people really be flirting with the racial stereotype. They're going to say, oh, y'all are animals, because this man's a millionaire. The hell is he doing with a knife? Getting arrested. Like he don't know the rules. He don't know the rules? That's insane, bro. Say he got suspended. Yep, got suspended for 2 games, but I think it had something to do with last year. And I think he was the one who took the cheating. He was taking people's signal. Harbaugh got out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Harbaugh went to the pros, man. Harbaugh, that team like 8-4. They're gonna make the playoffs. They got blown out, I think, last year. But they're gonna be a stronger team in the playoffs. And remember, this is his 2nd year. Everybody say give Jim about 3 to 4 years, he'll get them a championship. That's a coach, man. And a lot of them guys were there when he got there. That quarterback ain't never played as good as he playing now.
Let them kids down, man.
Yeah, it's called a coach, man. One thing about us, man, is we want these titles, but we don't want to do the things that those titles require. If you pick the school, if you the head coach, man, you can't sleep with those women. Oh, Black, that's so simple. Well, it is that simple. Because it's fraternization, man. And they could say because she could say because you the football coach, because you let the women sleep with you, they get favoritism from you. And it ain't from you. You know the staff. You be campaigning the English teacher to let them get away with it. That's why they just say no. Nobody can. If you're a member of the staff, the women and the students are off limits. Simple as that. They ain't no, well, how is that confusing? They're off limits as far as intimacy. People have to deal with that every day. And the only people, well, I'm going to say it's only now you got Negroes ruining themselves over there. Man, just because somebody dangle a little red meat in front of you, you're going to lose your mind?
And I'm gonna tell you why this happened, Platt, because we see this way too often. That's why niggas gotta learn how to love the game, man, because these dudes get these jobs and they get this clout, and immediately they start to think about the women they can attract based off the clout or the money they just got. You know what I'm saying? And so
yeah, but well, I wish he would have thought that. I wish Sherrone Moore would have thought about the women he could attract, because the staff, that's too close to home, man.
Yeah. And but what happens is, he get that job, he get that M on his chest and on his hat, and he see the females get starry-eyed, over him being the coach. You know what I'm saying? So that becomes his proximity, because he ain't got no game. Essentially, he ain't got no game to say, okay, I can't deal with this, but I can, if I got something else going on somewhere else, I can deal with women elsewhere, but not here. It just.
Well, he's a married man with 3 daughters. What kind of men does he want his daughters to be with? And the reason I bring that up is he's a married man with 3 daughters. Do you want to be that bad guy? So you say sleeping with other women, that would put you in the bad guy territory. And I'm saying the thing that would say, well, I don't want to do that. Why? Because you got daughters? That makes sense. Because you want them to be with good men? That makes sense to me. So why do it? That's what I'm saying. What's the point? It ain't nothing but some woman you met. Are you doing extra shit? You done busting her. You got a baby on the way, man. And they fired your ass. You lost your job behind it. Now you in jail behind it. That's so crazy, man, when you think about it. Yeah. And then you say you got the good job, you got the money. Man, it's a big world out here. There are plenty of women attractive, beautiful women who would love to be with a man like a Sherrone Moore, but that ain't how it went. He decided to sleep with someone that works at that school. You cannot do that. And all these dudes, that's another thing too, thirsty. Like we say, you ain't a real nigga till you turn it down. Being thirsty like that, man. The Negro in thirst, bro. And that goes back to uh um when you start saying the oversexed Negro, right? That plays into nothing but stereotypes. That is nothing but the stereotypes of what was that? What was that shit? A Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation was about oversexed Negroes going after white women. And you could say, well, that's just an old stereotype for black men. And then you got Michael. What did he do? He just, and see, that's the thing. He caused himself a lot of damage. He's the one with 3 kids, man. He ruined that. I feel sorry for his family. Then this woman he got pregnant, they believe he pulled a blade out on her. So he hurt himself. And that's the whole thing about the Negro. So a white supremacist or white racist could say, well, I don't want to hire these black guys because A, they can control themselves around women. That's A. And B, I'm doing him a favor. I don't want to see these Negroes go to jail. If I was to hire a Negro, he'd come around these white women and he'd melt. So he'd be okay for about a month. And next thing I know, he'll be drooling at the mouth. And next thing I know, something's happened. And so that's what I'm saying. So, and he played into it because he did it. And these Negroes really think white folks sympathize with them. Man, white folks ain't think about it. That nigga in jail.
He probably need to get up out the state as soon as he can, man.
He got a court case.
Yeah.
How's this man? That man was coaching on the sidelines just last week in the snow. Now that man is in a jailhouse eating a piece of pizza that tastes like a fucking cow rubber. I mean, a tire rubber. It has that. It's a tasteless piece of hard cheese. And that's his dinner. Yeah, bruh. And then that's your wife. You done pissed off, she might not do nothing for you. And then you got to tell your wife the money finna dry up.
And they both snows, both of them.
Yeah.
They both snows. You done
some brotherhood snows if I ever seen one. He done turned his daughters into brotherhood snows. They're gonna all be walking around here sounding like Cardi B. Is that what he want? No, he ain't want that. Damn.
You done broke the heart of 2 snows in one in one swoop, boy. Man, he better run for the hills.
Well, yeah, it did. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, man, you got to control yourself as a man. If you're a pastor, if you become a pastor of say 700, 1,000 congregation, you got to deal with what about the beautiful women? I'm saying, what about the beautiful women? So what do? Ignore them? You ignore them? You can't ignore them. You got to deal with the beautiful women. You got to talk about how beautiful they are. But you got to be platonic. You can make compliments, but you got to be platonic. See, guys want to make compliments, but they have intentions behind the compliments. And then they get their ass rolled up. And we already know we still under this Me Too stuff. They got him, bro. They got him. And the Michigan State. They got him. And there is some truth to it. Men of that age being so sexually undisciplined like that. You do have to wonder about that, though. Had a side piece. Now he's in jail. Allegedly, he went after the mom with a blade. He kicked down the door, went after her with a blade. We're still, that's you. You'll get charges probably today or tomorrow. So, yeah. And you're going to hear the people talking about DEI and all of that. So, I got to mean that they're going to do that anyhow. Well, they did sort of give him a break, but the job was too much for him. That job was just too much for him, man. Because I was like a dude from Louisville. He used to do what? So he coached the offensive line at Louisville. I said, he going to be the starting coach, head coach at Michigan? I said, eesh. Have you seen Michigan? Because, you know, they're a running team. They did okay, though. I think he won. He won like 9 games, 9-2. Playing Texas, good. They going to make some money. Texas blew them out last time they played. Probably going to do the same thing this year. I call myself going from Michigan the first time they played. Man, Texas went in there and beat the brakes off of them. I think it was like 34-7. I was up here. That's what his first game. I said, man, Mike. I said, Sherrod, man, Sherrod gonna have them boys ready. Man, they got the shit kicked out of them. All these Negroes get about 2 years, bro. They get about 2 years till they show the world they can't coach. They wind up out. I got the word, man, take Indiana over Ohio State. And I said, no way. I said, I'm not touching that, man. I said, no, man, I'm tired of betting against Ohio State. And they win. I like the playoffs. I don't like the Alabama-Oklahoma game, though, because Alabama done let me down twice. But I personally think Alabama's better than Oklahoma. But Oklahoma beat them. So, and I don't trust Alabama. So, and I had nothing but love for that coach from Washington. But that's how I'm done. Now, normally, hold up, I'm telling you this to say this. Normally, when I give up on a team and I'm giving up on Alabama, that's normally when they go ahead and win the championship. It happened to Ohio State. When Ohio State lost to Michigan, I publicly said, I'm done with Ohio State. And then they go on and win the championship. I doubt it, though. I don't think it'd be nice if they did. I don't think they can do it. Because their quarterback is terrible, man. So they just saw it on TV. He locked up. Brother got locked up, man. For this Bill Clinton. Do I think black men are oversexed? I don't. I don't. I don't think black men are oversexed. I think the black man, That's the whole Christianity. That's the whole the conversation about the faith, the religion that governs black men and just black men in general. Define high sex drive. Because see, when you start doing that, when you start breaking that thing down, right? You see the difference because the black man is a different type of human. We think of that on just an equal basis. No, they're just different, man. They're different in just how black men stay fertile longer and they become capable of producing a child at a certain age, right? A little bit different than the white man. So the black man burns longer than the white man. So yeah, there are differences. Do I think that they can't coach a football? I think they can coach a football team. I think they can coach a football team. He said Bama looked bad Saturday night against Georgia. Yeah. Oh, they look terrible against Georgia. Yeah, Georgia, he got Kirby Smart, man. He got them boys playing. But at the end of the day, like I said, and it's always these simple things. Women are not even important to talk about in the sense that guy is losing positions and stuff. And that's pretty much, men have always done that. But the men who get caught, they normally get rid of those men because that's a sign of weakness. The Negro, he always wants to melt, bruh. The Negro wants to lay up, the Negro wants to rest in a bitch, and he wants to melt in his women. Whereas the white man don't even look at it like that. That's the Negro. White man said, give me that car. They give him the car. He said, okay, good. He don't put all that extra stuff on there, all that candy paint and rims. That's how Negroes do. So it's a focus, man. There was a brother online. He said that Sherrod didn't do nothing wrong. He said niggas just hating on him because they want to be like him. And I was like, man, I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get fired, go to jail, and then get a divorce from my wife after 3 kids. No, I don't want to be like him. But see, the only reason he was saying it because he was smashing. That is a big deal to the Negro. Why is that such a big deal, exclusive?
No. Because I was about to ask you, do you feel like out of all races of man, do you feel black men prize, I guess, female attention more than other races overall?
I think you can make a case. I think you can make a case. You can make a case. I think Sherrone Moore, his lack of emotional security, you can make a case because he cried last year and they made a big deal about his tears. I didn't, but that's emotional. Getting into a fist fight and a blade when things start to go wrong, that's emotional. I should cry for him because a black man in America to get an $8 million coaching job at a major university.
Mhm.
And all he's got to do is recruit. And he's going to get a lot of recruits in there because it's Michigan, but all you got to do is recruit, coach and recruit. And next 5-6 years, you'll be have enough money to take care of your whole family. And when you die, they'll have money. But you jumped out there and got somebody pregnant, and then you got fired. So you can make a case that some black men just don't have no sense, man. Some of them. So he got picked up outside the home of the staff member. He had a blade on him. And I don't believe him when he said, I'm going to delete myself. You ain't going to do it with no blade.
Man,
See, when a motherfucker say that, I'm looking out the window, I know he bullshitting.
right. I'm about to go watch TV.
Yeah, that shit going to hurt, bro. It's going to be a minute. So that don't happen like that quickly, man. You got to really, he ain't going to do it to himself.
We lied.
Yeah, the human body won't even let you do some shit like that, man. It'll you'll be able to do that. A person who can do how about this? The person who's that mentally deranged to do it would have done it. They ain't gonna be knocking on your door to announce it.
Right.
Because if a nigga told me some shit like I said, bullshit, no. No, man. Yeah, that's another thing too, man. Not want to do. You gotta do your time, man. You gotta do your time, man. We gotta stop. What kind of men are we, man? Man, you gotta do your time, man. You gotta do your time, man. Oh, you got caught. A lot of people, that's the thing about it. You get caught. You got caught with, you was riding dirty. You got pulled over. You got caught with way too much. Now you gotta do 3.5. Right? A real person, a real man, he does his 3.5. He saves all of his energy saying, okay, I got to fit in down here. How I'm going to do this? Because when I go in, I got to, get this done. So go down there and do your time, man. So this how everybody do this. Okay. This, we do it like this. This how we do this. Okay. You get all that together. It's okay. And then they come and knock on your cell talking about some, you got to do 4 or 5 years. You say, okay. You don't need to talk to nobody. Nope. Nope. I'm gonna do my time. You do your time. See, when guys don't want to do their time, they do stuff like this. They get blades. They run off. And they get caught too. They run, can't run nowhere. You see them get pushed in the ditch trying to drive off. Car damn, they get turned over. That's messed up, man.
This nigga in a couple years gonna be working at H&R Block doing taxes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you see Russell? Russell did play-by-play. So he's finna make that transition in the broadcasting.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, last week I think he went over a Seattle game or something. He went over somebody. He went over a game.
Mm. What you think about Russell Platt? But I ain't gonna lie. Do I agree with all of his decisions? No. But to me, it's obvious that niggas really want to see Russell fail. You know what I'm saying?
Why? Why?
Why? I mean, ever since he got with Sierra, honestly, I don't know what it is, but and we make fun of him. We tease him. I don't, like I said, I don't agree with everything he say, or everything he does, but like it's a notion out here. You know what I'm saying, that they want to see Russell fail. I don't know if you heard about his one of his QBs he invited to Thanksgiving dinner or something like that, and he went on a podcast and ran his mouth talking about the Thanksgiving dinner was weird, and little baby Future was being bad and all this shit. And it's like, damn, nigga, they invited you to their house, on a holiday while you wasn't with your family. Like, this man welcomed you into his house, and now 5 years later, you want to get on a podcast mic, and talk down on him, So, but just stuff like that. Like, I know we're gonna tease him when it's warranted, but the man, so far so good. You know what I'm saying? He married Sierra. He got his kids, but he just want to do it the right way. And it just seems like there's an attack against that, an attack against doing it the right way, keeping your nose clean. You know what I'm saying? Doing the work, going home.
A lot of people don't think that she's faithful, and a lot of people think he's a simp.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was a baby mama. He is a multi-millionaire. So when you say Russell, if Russell goes into broadcasting, I mean, he's going to lose money because he can make so much more money. There's other things for him to do. It's up to him, though.
I mean, broadcasting, from my understanding, depending on how many hours, it's not like a full-time obligation. So I'm sure, I'm sure he can line his investments up, and extend his portfolio, etc. But yeah, man, we make fun of Russell. Yep, I've made fun of him. We see the simp narrative and all that stuff. But he ain't Coach Sherrone Moore. You know what I'm saying?
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's like, which one? Like, which one would you rather be, Sherrone Moore or Russell Wilson?
Well, I mean, neither one of them. No, neither one of them. I mean, Russell can date whoever he likes, man. What? Okay, but you ain't got to agree with me, man. Nobody's hating on Russell, but he's a simp. That's what I'm saying. I know you disagree with that, but he's a simp because he married a baby mama. She pretty much can do anything she wants. He almost like Will Smith. When you look at Sierra, he totally breathed life into her career. She was nowhere until he showed up. He bought her masters. He got her a little TV gig for a couple of days. Right now, nobody's talking about Sierra. He got his contract. He got his millions. I like the guys, like you look at LeBron. I like the guys who go for ownership or trying to join ownership, just like Tom Brady. I will hope Russell tries to be an owner or something like a GM. I don't want to see Russell do play by play.
I think he can do better than I think he can do way more than that. Like the stream, man. As we speak, University of Michigan head coach has been fired. It was some type of situation with a staff member. He's the husband to a white woman with 3 kids. There's belief that this woman, the daughter of a scout, she is pregnant with his child. There ain't nothing to say, man. The thing about it is that school got to pay money too. It ain't so much the $14 million that they don't have to pay him. They got to settle this lawsuit with that staffer. And it left the University of Michigan wide open. So if you someone like a Bill Belichick or someone like that, they got plenty of money. Nick Saban, they got plenty of money. Michigan, there's opportunity, man. Yeah, I don't think he gonna go no politics, man. He got fired. You look at it, Shannon Sharp. You look at the brother from Michigan State 3 years ago. Black community, man, they got a lot of work to do, bro. Got a lot of work to do. We gonna hear about this guy for the next 2 years. We're gonna hear about him for the next 2 to 3 years, bro. These niggas get them a white girl, bro, and they go white girl crazy. They be ready to fight over them white women, bro. I've seen that before, man. Brothers, 2 brothers, they fighting over a white girl. She smashed them both. Them dudes going at it, bro. They had to call the fire department. Man, the police couldn't do nothing with them. They had to call the fire department, man. Them dudes came out there to separate them dudes. Yeah, over a white girl, bro. There's a lot of snow in Michigan. Okay. Okay. They say it's flicks. Niggas be looking at them flicks. Niggas sit up there and look at them flicks and start thinking that shit real. Said Dion. Well, Dion ain't thirsty. Dion ain't thirsty. And see, that's another thing. When you have women like that, you're not really thirsty for women like that. You're also capable of telling women no.
Mm-hmm.
You don't argue with them. You tell them no. They know. Yeah, they pretty much get their way with most men. And it ain't even on you want to smash. It's just you're not thirsty like that. And you ain't a real nigga though. And I'm. You guys can put this on my uh tombstone. Put it on my tombstone. You ain't a real nigga until you done turn some pussy down. And what you got to understand about that is what it means. It's I hear what you hear it, but it solves so many of your problems. He didn't turn no box down. So when he got this chick pregnant, man, you married. Now look at all this stuff you don't ruined your future in the world of social media, all this money to be made out here, and you lost it, man. You blew it. You got nobody to blame but yourself. You got to turn it down, man. And you can't let niggas say nothing about you. Who cares what they think? You can't. Everyone, a woman shouldn't look at you and say, "All I gotta do is throw this dude some box, and boom, he'll be my puppet. He'll do everything I tell him to do." You gotta you gotta be stronger than that, man. Like the stream, man. Like the stream. You gotta turn it down, man. I don't care what they look like. You at work at a college, man, gotta protect yourself. You work at a hospital, gotta protect yourself. But if you sloppy, man, it's gonna come back on you. And most dudes and most women understand. So they keep that stuff on the back. They keep it on the low. They keep all that stuff on the low. And they fuck with each other outside of business. Because that's the best way to do it. You don't have people in your business. This is how you get people in your business. Plus, if you work with somebody, you don't want to be doing that anyhow. I've seen a nigga get fired, man. He was smashing a chick. The shit was like 8 of us. The chick was one of the people. And the supervisor got on the chick because she did something wrong and he got mad, right? It was a brother. And he was like, "How many times I got to show you how to do that?" And she said, "I'm sorry." He said, "No, don't be sorry. Just remember what I tell you to do." And he said, "I don't want to have to keep coming over here." And then all of a sudden, dudes just jumped up in dude's face. "Man, you better leave her alone." And then that's when everybody looked around. He said, "You better leave her alone. You better stop talking to her, motherfucker." Man, that nigga turned out. He was sleeping with his ass got fired on the spot. And that's what I said, man, that can't be worth it. If you out here needing a job, you out here losing jobs over women, don't you have bills to pay? Didn't you come here for a reason? Give yourself a 6-month run. But you went out here, you know, start sleeping with these women, and you just just something for them to, you just there to be used. She didn't have to get fired. He did. And he might not like this. That dude stayed. I don't know what was going on. That dude stayed on her. Every time she would make a mistake, he would call her out. She was fine too. I don't know. See, I don't know what they do. It was strange though. It was noticeable though. Because other people make the same mistake, he wouldn't say anything. Sherrone Moore was fired by the University of Michigan. There is allegations and rumors that he returned to the side piece's home. He had a knife. He made some threatening statements about her and then deleting himself. He was arrested. He's currently in custody. of what it says, the Sawwick Police Department. It's rumors this woman is pregnant. That's a lawsuit. She's gonna sue Michigan. Michigan gonna pay. Their lawyers will handle it. But that's a couple of mil right there. This man, 3 years from now, I don't know where you're gonna see him. I feel sorry for his kids, man. Man, that's gonna be terrible, bro. But hey, man, we wanted to put this out here, man. We got to catch up. We far behind, and we will. Sherrone Moore fired. Black brother, whatever happened to being, responsible and dominant and all the things you expect. All the things you expect. What happened to those things? What happened to black men who were dominant? You talk about the whole Fresh Prince, Will Smith and Carlton, right? You got to be you got to be you. When guys brag on all the women they get, that's never bothered. Well, I've never been that type of dude, but that's never bothered me because I'm me. I'm not them. And that's what you got right here. He got a little ahead of himself. He got a little thirsty. And that's not to say that his assistant coaches, I would. If I'm an assistant coach and he's breaking the rules, I'd fucking say something, get his ass fired. So I can get I got a family, man. I got a wife. I got a future. Guess what? I would say, y'all tell on me if I do. I'm not going to do nothing wrong. I'm going to understand this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to make a good 30 mil. And then my kids can have everything they need. Like the stream, bro. Yeah. It's so much. You got a divorce. You got to deal with. What about your daughters? How you think the daughters feel? Mommy and daddy ain't together no more. And then them interracial kids. So there's an additional burden. Their daddy was a thirst bucket. It's a stereotypical black man. How's that going to come across for those kids? And you think white guys aren't going to hit his, you think she don't have brothers and stuff? They ain't going to bring up that, you chose a black man? We hope not, huh? We appreciate you, man. Like, share, support. We've turned the corner, man. We finna go ahead and stop this. We appreciate you, man. As we speak right now, Sherrone Moore is in a prison cell. It's around 6. He should be eating the morning meal of what? Mystery meat and orange. I've seen it. I've seen him put a piece of cornbread. I've seen jailhouse plate, man. A jailhouse plate of cold cornbread, an apple, mystery meat, and a milk. And that's his breakfast. That's his breakfast. And what makes me think they haven't got all the charges together. They're going to come out probably tomorrow and let you know exactly what the charges are. Woo, man. Woo. And that show you success, man. You need to be careful, man. Don't drop your guard. You become successful. Don't say, all right, I'm gonna go back to doing dumb shit, because this is what's gonna happen to you. And remember, you got something to lose now. Now you got something to lose. He said, no snow, just bubble to sleep next to you. It's white women down there, Bethune. What is it? Bethune ground staff. What does that mean? What does that mean? You got to be the only black woman in America named Bethune. 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 Ain't no black people alive named Bethune. Bethune. I know Bethune Cook, but I know. Groundskeeper, okay. I don't know what. See, these people rich, Ed Reeve, I don't even know what that was. And remember, Dion didn't hire him. I don't know what was going on with Ed Reeves, man. But as we speak, you can contact the jail. Sherrone Moore is locked up. He's in custody. They said pending charges. Who knows? They might throw it out. Maybe there's no charges. But the University of Michigan have taken action. He's fired. Now they're going to probably, I don't know who, maybe they got their eyes set on some coach. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see you guys later, man. We out.